All right. Let me do the ping. Hopefully this weekend I'll finally have my my second monitor up. I just need to get to disk. It was the 11th the last time, so I gotta go all the way back to the 11th. I already read all of that, I think. Yeah, we watched Balios's warning. Here we go. How's everyone doing? Light, Truffle, Strawberry Frog, Lux. What are your guys? CJ, Grim. Good to see all of you. Let me open up Twitch. Twitch has an update. This is gonna be tricky, considering I end work at 8 and start the stream at 8. So hopefully I don't have any days that go long. But you know what it is? It is what it is. If it happens, we'll figure it out. You're stuck in the car? Oh, 6 hours. Oh my gosh. That reminds me of a time that I was, it was the middle of winter. Actually, was it the middle of winter? Might have actually been, I don't know. It was really cold in Tennessee, and I told my best friend that this was actually, no, this was March. This was right as the pandemic started and my school closed. And my old roommate slash best friend at the time was living nearby. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to be out until like midnight, 1 a.m. having to like move all my stuff out and like get ready to get out of here back to California. And she was like, sure. And then I got back to her place at like midnight and the door was locked. She was asleep. I guess she had forgotten about me, and so I had to, like, I tried sleeping in the car, but it was like 30 degrees, and I was like freezing to death in there. Literally, like, I was like worried I was going to have frostbite or something. It was crazy. I was not having a good time. So I eventually broke into the back door of her house, and her boyfriend was there and threatened to hurt me, but I was like, I am not an intruder, it's me. I said it in a very mean way, though. And, yeah. I ended up sleeping on the couch from like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Finally. I don't know why I remembered all of that, but I hope whatever you're doing is better than that. We're gonna do some reading today. Hytale dropped 17 minutes of gameplay previews.
Well,
Oh! Hi, Mika. Did you just come in here to say that? Freaka. I don't care. You know, you can be mad at me or whatever. I don't care about Hytale. I think Minecraft is just perfectly fine, and I think people who say that Minecraft is missing so many features and stuff just want to play modded Minecraft. Just play modded Minecraft. Sorry for all the documents from the collective hospital incident. No, never be sorry. I'm excited to read it all. By the way, for those who have not yet, I'm gonna jump over here now. Sorry for everyone with the crane game. For those who have not yet, I'm still in the creepy basement. You should get OC Social Network. If you're part of the Smile SMP, OC Social Network, everyone has their SMP character and we're all interacting and it's so much fun. I'm having a blast. I keep this thing open all the time because I'm just like, ooh, I wonder what people are saying. um yeah, I can't wait for this to like, because I mean we had like Balios drop through the hospital today, which you'll see. And everyone's been commenting on that. I can't wait for the winter ball event to happen and everyone's talking about that. Can you imagine this during the Oakle thing? People live tweeting during it? Oh my god, it would have been great. Uh 400 people's first impression of the Smile SMP was I kissed a man. Yeah, a lot of people got really upset at Eclipse saying that the people of this planet shall pay. And they're like, what did I do? But honestly, that's a great impression of the Smile SMP. I kissed a man. All right, well, we're gonna get right into looking at stuff. I've been pinged. And voice acting volunteers, that's okay. We're gonna get right into things. First we have Azrael in Solitude. Poetry. Oh, hell yeah. Let me turn on my captions here. Does it say Lore Friday? Lore Tuesday. Okay, good. I thought I might have messed things up. Here we go. In the quiet, he sits alone. No wings, no warmth, no place called home. The stars above refuse to speak, their light too far, their mercy weak. The wind does not remember him. It passes by, cold, quiet, grim. Once angels sang, now Azrael mourns, a soul unmade, a heart in thorns. He watches dawn but feels no glow. The sun comes up too fast, too slow. He breathes, but breath is just a chore, a cycle he can't feel no more. His hands still shake, his eyes still burn, for every past he can't return. Each memory like broken glass, cutting through the years that pass. He whispers names the world forgot, a prayer to gods who answer not. The silence hums a cruel refrain, reminding him he lives in vain. Solace is quiet, soft and wide, but all he feels is loss inside, for peace means nothing when you're numb, when all your dreams are deaf and dumb. He carves small lines in stone and sand, just to pretend it's something planned, a mark to say I'm still alive, though barely so, though none survive. And in that void where angels fall, he finds no hope, no sound, no call, just Azrael, his breath, his pain, a ghost who wakes to die again. I say this every time, but you know, Angel, Azrael lore, try not to be the most depressing thing you'll ever see. Challenge impossible. The VA ping was funny. What did you do to Muffin? What? Oh, was it Fluffy? What? Was Fluffy having whatever? All right. We have from Divinity and Obscenity, which so far has not impressed me. Well, okay. They're all aesthetic, all bark, no bite. I'm ready to see some substance. Check the OC social channel. What's going on here? What about it? Oh, you're telling Frog. I'm an idiot. Yeah, Aura farming. The screenshot of the chaos code I see. All right, let's see what this is. I wish you were here to see me, mother. Okay. Some sort of character that is from a world that was destroyed. Or some city or something that was destroyed. Maybe after the Great Anomaly. Probably after the Great Anomaly. Who knows? In collaboration with Zenithra. Shadows of Shadows. From Truffle. It was the dead of night. Truffle was asleep, still restless, even in unconsciousness. Maybe that subconscious anxiety wasn't all too unfounded. An odd sense of dread sank low in the air. Someone else was here. I had felt its presence, but never met it before. It could easily be mistaken for a simple trick of the light, a shadow a little too dark, making the brain play tricks upon itself. What gave it away was the glaring red eyes and mouth filled with sharp teeth. It towered over me. The voice it spoke in was something akin to nails on a chalkboard, perhaps mixed with the cries of hell-damned souls. Well, you're new. Not who I was looking for, but it doesn't matter now. The figure sat down on the couch, making himself comfortable by propping his feet up onto the worn-down coffee table. I could only glare at him. Get your feet off the table. That is very disrespectful. Maybe you never had someone in your life to teach you how to act properly. It suddenly got up and went to the cabinets, practically tearing each one open and searching the contents. I was left to pick up cans of spaghetti and packages of ramen noodles in his destructive wake. He settled on a box of pancake mix and proceeded to eat the dry powder. Between the war and dealing with stupid international probably fights, not really. Any gays? Any gays? Chaos, right? I thought what played at 8? 8 Eastern. It's currently 8 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time zone you're in. Yeah. I had work until 8. Yes, Chaos. If you want something to eat, allow me to cook something. Else I fear that the small room might become ashes. Ambush unfortunately canonically says any gays. Oh, that's funny. I thought it was... Oh, it's 7 for you. I'm so sorry. Well, if you wrote anything, I'm sure we'll get to it in about 45 minutes at least. Nah, I'll just eat it raw. Don't need to cook it. The entity poured more of the dry batter into its mouth. How uncouth. Sorry, CJ, go to sleep. Just watch this later. He paused, tilting his head like like a confused puppy. When he spoke, his voice was softer, without the ear-screeching tone. What does uncouth mean? The shadow sounded genuinely curious, hesitating at each word. I tried to hold in a small chuckle as I started explaining. Lacking manners, respect, and refinement. However, I doubt that you know any of those words either, so it can be more simply defined as not being raised correctly and lacking common sense in the realm of courtesy. Hey, I do know courtesy. I was literally raised with a princess. The weird sounds that seemed to always underline his words returned. I laughed a little again. Sure you were. You know, that would really taste better if I cooked it, right? Not to mention that I don't think Truffle appreciates their food being consumed like that. He shrugged, oddly human in a way. Truffle doesn't like me already. I was coming here for the child, but looks like they left. I was back on guard in an instant, snapping my head towards him. Just what did he mean by child? Where did this child go when they left? I think I remember Truffle losing track of a young one that they were taking care of, but what did this shadow have to do with it? He strided to the fridge, a small note being held to the metal door by a big red plus magnet. The writing was chicken scratch and done in purple crayon. It seemed to be this supposed child's last note before leaving. Hello, Truff, I am going to a different universe. Bye! The spelling was more atrocious than the handwriting, but I know it must have been heartbreaking to Truffle. A sound somewhat like a porcelain cabinet breaking rang out from behind me. The shadow was laughing. Did you seriously not know that the kid left? Wow, and here I thought you were all wise and knowing, old man. I've only recently been able to manifest as a physical form. While I know the most broad things about this world, the details are lost to me. Do you care about this kid? He seemed concerned for my well-being, staring at the other various drawings on the fridge. Yeah, good night, CJ. It bothers me sometimes that Freya might not understand a piece of my lore. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fair. I kind of... It's tough when I have to rush. I used to be able to sit and just, like, steep in it, but... Chaos has a British accent? Alright. Do you care about this kid? Why should I not? This universe is a truly dangerous one. I fear... Wait. No, this is Chaos. This is Chaos? Which one is Chaos? Do I give them both British accents? Normal is Chaos. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I gave this Chaos. Ambush, right. Why should I not? This universe is a... Oh, I'm butchering this accent, I'm sorry. This universe is a truly dangerous one. I'm sorry to everyone. Cece didn't watch this. I fear yet more if they truly have entered an alternate dimension. Do you care about this child? I don't doubt what the young one said. Sometimes beings are simply given too much power for what they may do with it. The shadow took quite a bit of time to respond. When he did, he was very obviously trying to change the topic. That's not important. I know what universe they got into. Well, I'm curious. Which one is it? I've seen glimpses of a couple. Universe 7395271, or otherwise known as Failed Revolution. 20 years later from now, Freya was voted out as leader and Okul replaced them. Ooh. This caused a war, and Zenithra had killed many people on their own, with training from an ex-military general from Sarah's old planet named Cypher. Different Cypher. Now, when our Zenithra got there, they had just killed their truffle with a star-powered laser through their head. Z, which is what Zenithra is called there, later found ZZ knocked out because of energy loss from making a portal. Now they're teaching them magic and swordsmanship, but also taught them that Truffle was at fault for their mother's death. I think I summed it up. That's a crazy drop. That's a crazy lore drop. I mean, from this other universe. If I were honest, I was only half listening. The explanation was barely interesting to me, considering it isn't the future of this universe. I contemplated my next words before sighing and breaking the silence. Don't tell Truffle. No promises. The sun is soon to rise. If I am correct, you are like me and prefer to stay in the shadows, no? I'll be watching over ZZ. He seemingly started melting like ice cream into the shadows of the yet unlit room. The air felt lighter without that being's presence. I took that as my cue to vanish as well, sticking to the room Truffle inhabited as to observe them. Well, I'm glad we don't have to listen to me have a British accent anymore. Sorry I forgot to turn on the music after the video. A visit. Light took a sharp breath as she placed weight onto her left leg. She adjusted her grip on her cane and continued up the stairs. She stopped to catch her breath, panting as her wings sagged. She stood straight and walked a little bit down the hall. She stopped just outside the room Kron is in. Her hand shakes as she raises it to the doorknob and tries to open the door. Her ears twitched to the sound of a dull thud. She groaned and used her magic to move the chair that blocked the door. Kron, please, I'll need to request that you do not block the door, Light said as she walked into the room. She stopped when she saw Croy. Her gaze softened. Oh, Croy, hello. Croy looked up at Light. His gaze seemed to linger on the bandages wrapped around her neck and on her left ear. She took a sharp breath and shifted her gaze to Kron. She grabbed the chair and pulled it up close beside Kron's bed. She sat down, hissing in pain as her back ached. Minnie, Miss Guide? Kron started. Light shook her head, offering a small, tired smile. Miss Guide. Light corrected. Wait. Oh, because Minnie, Miss Guide, Light corrected. You don't have to add the Minnie anymore. Kron blinked, seemingly surprised that she didn't insist on using her name. Miss Guide, you okay? He asked. Light nodded. I'm all right, she said softly. Just some pain. Kron nodded. Why here? He asked. I wanted to check up on you, she said. What happened to your ear? That was Croy. Light looked at him, her smile fading. My memories have come back, she said as she adjusted herself in her seat. That, a panic attack, and my health worsening both from the poison Elia had released and my own chronic pain had made my magic lash out, knocking objects about. One had caught my earring and ripped it out, along with a good bit of flesh. She reached up and gently grazed her shaking fingertips across the bandage that covered the still mending flesh. It'll never heal fully, but it will heal enough to where she needn't worry about infections. Croy and Kron both winced in sympathy. Miss Guide see Croy? Kron asked. Light's gaze softened. Yes, he is right in front of you. I doubt he has plans to leave any time soon, she said. Yay! Because Kron hasn't, oh, the job application jump scare didn't work. I think it's because I need to turn it on. Because Kron didn't know that Croy was there up until now. Right? I'm pretty sure. Then you are more than welcome to stay as long as you want, Croy. I won't make you leave, she added with a kind smile. Then she looked at Kron. If I may ask, Kron, why is it that you moved the chair in front of the door? Kron twitched. Don't want people take things, they said. Light nodded in understanding. In that case, she said as she pulled a piece of crystal out of her pocket, may I touch you briefly? Kron hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Light reached out and held Kron's hand with the crystal in between their palms. Magic swirled around their hands briefly before flowing into the crystal, making it glow. Light took her hand and the crystal from Kron and placed it on the chest containing their items. The crystal embedded itself into the door of the container and magic flared around it. That was a warding spell, Light explained as she slowly stood up, leaning on her cane. It will protect the chest from being opened by those you do not want. Only you and Croy have full access to the chest, while others will require your expressed permission to open it. So there is now no need for the chair to be in front of the door, please. She limped to the door, ready to go face-plant into her bed. Light, Croy called. Light paused and turned towards the ghost. I thank you for giving him that peace of mind, he said. Light simply smiled, nodded, and walked out of the room. She closed the door and sighed. She was about to make her way back to her room at the end of the hall when, crash! The sound of glass breaking made her ears twitch. Light turned sharply, wincing slightly as her chronic pain flared briefly. She listened. Water flowing, the dull whack as flesh against the floor. Light's eyes widened, panic settled into her. She dropped her cane and ran to Water's room. She ignored her pain. Her dad was in danger. She could sense it. Please, great gods, don't let him die. Her dad was in danger. My heart. Dude, I've been saying this, like, this whole season, for some reason, is all about, like, parent-child, or, like, found family, rather, relationships. Even, like, Eclipse and Cypher, like, the main villain and is all about that. You've got Marcello and Mira. You've got Light and Waters. You've got, like, so many, even, like, you could argue Croy and Kron. Like, there's so many. Couldn't be Okul. Cam and Sunny. That's another one. Yeah, this is the Found Family season. Cults, Kingdoms, and Family Founded. Truffle and Zenithra. That's another one. It's all so good. I love it. Warms my heart. The hospital. Oh, Waters, what happened to you? The dam breaks. It is a cold day on Solace, and the rain hasn't been letting up since early in the morning. It's a heavy rainstorm, a thunder. It reverberates through the air and strikes to the ground to echo a sound like the single beat of a drum, or a heartbeat. For just one moment, it choruses, the heart monitor in the room of one, Ayin Waters. It is Ain, right? Or is it Ayin? I feel like I mispronounced it the last time, and you corrected me. I don't know if Myth is here. Because I say it Ayin all the time, because it's... But I feel like I'm mispronouncing it. But I will continue. Simultaneously, it harmonizes with the heavy footsteps of the head doctor of the Solace Hospital, as steps into the empty lobby of the hospital. Though he still holds over an umbrella over his head, the base of his robe drips from the downpour, a victim of unanticipated circumstances. The umbrella snaps closed and is tossed into a bucket like it is a revolting thing, while attention is given elsewhere, to flicking whatever water is left on him off by grabbing higher up on the garment. It is something he could certainly deal with more perfectly by use of heat and time, but he brought himself here on a particular mission today, one that cannot afford such a time delay. Ein. Right. That's what it is. Virgil just walked by. It is for that mission that he finds himself walking down the hallway, turning 3 corners and rising up the staircase, the room he's seeking just at the top of it. Room 201, the temporary recovery chamber of Ein Waters. If Magos was to go off of NC, I keep saying NC hierarchy, Director Ein Waters, his boss. If he were to go off the Keepers of Solace department rankings, a co-worker, neither of which matter in this circumstance. As of right now, he is just his patient. A wild Virgil. Hi, Bagel. The victim of an attack that took place on October 31st, the Eye Blossom Festival. One of several, but the worst state of the lot. Put to that placement by choosing to help others before himself. An admirable thing for some, but a foolish thing for many others. Mago steps into the room, pulling the door shut behind him. Silence is non-existent in a room that bubbles, but he comes to what is as close to as he can achieve. As he stares straight on at the figure practically propped up by cords, wires, and metal framing in a glass water tank, of all things. It's an electrocution hazard waiting to happen. Balios mentioned... Sorry. Magos would not be anywhere near it if he had the choice. I know that you are awake. Shut up. Waters bites back, voice, for the first time in years, unimpeded by speakers and a janky microphone system. Rough still from the week of disuse. Magos tilts his head to the side as he stares toward the gray eyes of his patient, eyes that have not been shut for, what was it? 8 days now, completely unconscious. Oh, completely conscious. Do you need to work to retain sanity, or is that another factor that heals like the rest of you? Shut up, Waters repeats, more firmly. A sigh, the shuffle of clothing as Magos moves, his hands rising and straightening the medical kit on the wall as it shuffled just a little bit from times the door has opened and shut to the room from various visitors. 8 individual visitors, specifically. Some repeatedly, some only once, and one who practically lived in the room. This poison can be treated, alleviated, cured. If you would just allow me to. Shut up, Waters interrupts, arms twitching even in their paralysis. Mago stops still and watches the involuntary motion. Waits for another, but it doesn't come. Still paralyzed from the poison. Is that how you would talk to your doctor on a normal day? Elia. Yes, I am aware, Mago states, waving off the name as if it means nothing. You have been hallucinating, one of the side effects of the poison you ingested. Considering your history, it is most likely unpleasant. Getting any war flashbacks? I hear those get exciting. Magos digs a gloved hand into the interior pockets of his robe as he speaks. There's the clinking sound of several glass instruments and the dull clangs of metal. Eventually, he retrieves a thin vial, a clear fluid with loose fragments of some kind of herb. The cure. Waters stares at it silently from his eternal half-float, half-stand thing he has going on. Technically, it takes a second for the pinpricks of his eyes to lock onto them, the item. But once he has, he looks up from it, with an impossible look of unamusement and confusion simultaneously. You're trying to kill me, he states, as if it's a reminder. I am not trying to kill you, Magos bemoans, leaning back against the door and holding the vial loose at his side now that it's been discredited as a threat unnecessarily. Capture you, yes, though I realize now that it would be illogical to do so while there are so many who would look for you. Magos is so, like... I love Magos, because he's just totally self-serving. He's not evil. He's not good. He just does what he wants. Oh, it's okay. I just am terrible at, like, reading, so when I catch one word that's, like, I don't understand, I'm like, it trips me up completely. True neutral indeed. From in the tank, water shifts. A small movement. Too small to even send out a ripple in the water he's submerged in. The deep gray slits in his eyes drop as he watches his own fingers twitch. Though I suppose I could work with making people believe you are dead. The dark gaze shoots up. Shock, surprise, fear. That's what he feels. Fear. So indistinct and immeasurable. A fear for something he has needed to concern for, but now he is more aware of the possibilities. The meaning and depth in being a prisoner again, with recently acquired a sense of freedom. All things considered, it would be pretty easy to do. Significantly injured twice in the span of a month. Magos' gaze watches him intently, then moves to the wall to the left behind him as if he can see through it. Watching, listening, but for what? It doesn't matter. What matters now is that Waters needs to start moving. You could die in this tank right now, and perhaps nobody would be as surprised. Nobody would be as surprised. In some sense, they would be relieved, believing for the ease of their own consciousness that you had passed peacefully in your sleep. A twitch, a kick, a spike of pain, blood in the water as the IV releases. Still a murder, but at least not the more brutal of the two options for how you could have gone out thus far. The shattering of glass. The crash of water pooling out of the tank like a small rushing waterfall or a rapids. It covers the floor quickly in a thin layer of itself that rises slowly as it waves and disperses through cracks and vents, wherever it can reach. It dips around Magos's boots and drenches the edges of his cloak further, removing all the effort he spent drying it off earlier in an instant. Waters tilts his head back and to the side to angle the blood trail away from his eyes as he hefts out a heavy breath of effort. Then he sucks in the last bit of water he can before he smashes his shoulder against the glass to break it open further. A larger shard of glass embeds into his skin, but he pushes on until he can force his way out into the open air. Magos just stands there at the door, no longer leaning against it. Is it shock? Is it interest? Is it an illusion? Hallucination? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Waters reaches out an arm and grabs Magos by the shoulder, pulling him towards him just to hook his foot behind his ankles and shove him down to the ground. Water splashes up and around them from the floor. It rises with the same motion as Waters' fist. The fist slams down into the floor. Clearly, Magos had regained his senses enough to move his head out of the way in time. I really thought the paralysis would last at least a couple seconds longer, Magos regards a dull tone. Made mute by having to hold his breath, Waters grabs Magos by the throat and raises his fist a second time. That's when the door opens, and there, in shock, stands Light, entering, having heard the commotion and coming to check. Magos looks, but Waters doesn't, as he's more focused on trying to get his fist to actually land this time. Damn post-paralysis coordination. Waters! Light rushes forward and grabs Waters from the upper torso, pulling him back and up and off of Magos towards the right corner of the room, where the glass from the tank is still mostly intact. Seated, as she is still too small to pull him into a comfortable standing position. She's quick to focus her magic to pull water around his head so he can breathe again. He takes in one heaving breath when it's all there. Magos, are you all right? What in the moon happened here? Light asks, quick and somewhat frantic. This is not at all what she was expecting to see when she came over here. No, listen to me, that's not... Heavy footsteps approach, rising the staircase and then coming into view. Magos appears at the top of the stairs. The teal tint of his goggles gives off nothing as to where he exactly looks first, but he certainly sees through a mess to approach. Wait! It's Elia! It's Elia? I was like, whoa, we're getting crazy, I mean, like, I knew he was, like, neutral and whatever. Like, he is what he is. But, like, that's insane! I'm so slow, I guess. Oh my gosh. The teal tint of his goggles gives off nothing as to where exactly he looks first, but he certainly sees enough of a mess to approach swiftly after witnessing it. I'm so dumb! I feel like everyone else probably got it before me. Light stares at the second appearance of Magos. Confusion, then the quickening of her breath as she quickly pieces it all together. But by that point, there's a coughing sound also present within the room that she hadn't previously noticed. She shoots her eyes to it and sees an exact copy of herself, holding her throat and coughing like she was the one choked out by Waters. Everything moves quickly. Magos gets through the threshold of the doorway, pulling the door shut and locking it as scarabs block the vents and scramble throughout the gaps in the doorframe to wall up the other side. As he stands still there, Light slips the daggers she hides on herself out from her sleeves and shoots them towards the other Light with the intention to pin her in place. However, a blade aimed for the arm strikes something invisible in the air next to it. It bleeds crimson, but is quickly pulled free by the other Light's hand and thrown back towards its sender. Light manages to duck away from it, but Waters also pulls his arm over her head to shield her. Oh. Then Magos moves, having rewinded the footage for himself to come to the same conclusion. He raises a flintlock and watches the same bleeding point that was made to aim exactly there, and shoots. Ah! There's an echoey, almost distorted call of pain, followed by a stream of swears. The other Light darts backwards, clutching the bleeding point as her eyes dart from each person in the room. It's as if she's looking for a way out, or at least a weak link to take out first. Eyes like a feral lion in a cage. But then, suddenly, she slams her fist into the water beneath them all. As she pulls that fist up, it also pulls a sword, but she doesn't strike it towards them, as would be easy for her to do. Instead, she slices back towards what remains of the glass tank, making herself an opening. Before any of them can react, she slams that sword into the trapdoor and pulls. The resulting effect is much like a whirlpool. It sucks everything that remains of the water down through the hole made, including herself. By the time Magos can get the security feed back up in his mask, she's just a light flare darting out through the lobby doors. There's that half temptation to follow after her, but it is raining, so he sends a scarab to search, even though no trace of her is found in this weather. That was most certainly Elia. Now it is just Magos, Waters, and Light, standing or sitting in a mostly flooded room, with an incoming headache and a lot of decisions to make. That was wild. Yeah, you totally convinced me. I thought that was Magos. I even went on a whole thing about like, oh man, I love Magos. This is crazy development for him, blah, 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 whatever. Oh my god, it was Elia the whole time. That's great. Absolute cinema. You had me. You had me going. I love seeing the reactions before I read something because I'm like, this is going to be heartbreaking, isn't it? From CJ, The Comforts of Vulnerability. I thank you for giving them peace of mind. Croy and Kron watched as Light smiled and nodded, limping out of the room, leaving the patient confused yet slightly relieved, but the ghost worried. Light was back to how she was before, but her health is worsening, and Croy couldn't help but to think it was related to something deeper than just that poison. Suddenly, Croy heard something. Waters? A crash echoed down the hall outside, making both Kron and Croy's heads shoot up to it. Dude, the hospital has had 2 major things happen this week. It's absolutely destroyed. I gotta have Freya go in and, like, remake everything. Like, canonically. I could go in and just, like, reverse all the damage, but she will canonically fix the hospital. A crash echoed down the hall outside, making both Kron and Croy's heads shoot up to attention, ears twitching. Croy rose from his crouched position, phasing through the wall with a shiver, turning head from the right briefly, then sharply to the left. Hollow eyes widening at the pooling liquid crawling its way from Water's open hospital door, an injured Light just about in view, clutching her throat and coughing. But just as Croy was about to call out, the doors were slammed shut, the scuttering of Magos's scarabs muffled from within the room. Shit. Croy heard the sounds of struggle, of water. His hands flexed at his sides, his mind coming to the conclusion of a shapeshifter, but he froze as he heard the voice of Kron behind him. No, not right, Miss Guide. Poisoner. They darted forward, right through Croy's back, making the ghost grunt. They gripped his shield in hand, stumbling slightly, but seeming set on helping. But Croy panicked. His arms flew out, trying to grab Kron in some way. His hands phased through their arm. His fingers phased through the back of their hood. His arms phased through their torso. Kron, stop, please, get away from the door. Croy eventually managed to take a hold of his shield that was strapped firmly to Kron's arm, pulling it back, but doing his best not to hurt them. Kron struggled, but their hooves did nothing to hold the ground. Their free arm reaching out, trying to grab something. But Croy had already gotten to them both to the doorway of Kron's hospital room, just as a gunshot rang out, followed by a string of distorted curses and heavy breaths, before another crash, and silence. Kron fought, mumbling loud, panicked profanities and insults about Elia and how do you say it again? Gaelga? Trying to get the shield unstrapped from their arm, but they suddenly felt hands on either side of their head, and Croy's voice, strained and slightly unclear, echoing in their ears. Stay put. Light is okay. Just stay here until I say it is safe or a doctor comes to check on you. No, Croy! I'm only going outside the hospital. I promise I will be back. Don't leave it! No! Kron felt Croy pull away, the pulling on the shield stopping completely, causing them to stumble a little. They turned their head this way and that, scratching their eyes, trying to see. They needed to see. Croy darted with flowing precision out of the room, peering around the corner at the destruction of Water's room. Magos, head in his hand, flintlock in the other, muttering about not getting a break. Meanwhile, Light and Waters were huddled together in the corner of the hospital room, a bubble of the clear water held around Waters' head. Croy could just about hear faint sobs coming from Light. He decided now wasn't the time to ask questions. They needed space, and they needed each other. Gaelga. Got it. The ghost moved through each hospital room, checking every single one, looking for this second Light, which he had realized was Elia. His deer ears flicked in irritation, circling the hospital once, twice, 3 times. Kron was curled up on the bed in their hospital room, hearing the conversations outside but not fully understanding the words. They hugged Croy's shield, counting the seconds until Croy would come back. In exactly 10 minutes and 54 seconds, they felt a pair of hands on either side of their head. Kron sniffled, hugging the shield tighter, and Croy soon wrapped his arms around the shield too. It was the closest thing to a hug they could give each other at the moment. Let them hug, please! Oh. This is too much for my heart. Let them hug, please. I like how he accepted that he has a flintlock. I was going to question it, but it's Magos. I mean, oh, we have a lot of Morse code from Ringy. Here we go. Morse code translation. Thank you. I applied for the hospital. I was ready to explain my experience, but none was asked for. Dr. Magos appeared interested in claiming a sample of my blood. It is even written in the paperwork given to me. I will see what I can do. For now, I continue to attempt to build a home. I need more lanterns. I will see when I begin my work with the hospital at a later date. But I have doubts it will be soon, given the recent events I have heard of. It's probably good that, like, as much as Magos is a weirdo, in the best way, by the way, it's probably best that Freya isn't the one, like, what's the word? Not interrogating. What is it when you, like, interview? Not interrogate, interview. Because she'd just be like, oh, you sound great. You should work for us. Dude, if Freya, like, ran into Elia, she'd totally... So Elia can, like, show up as anyone, right? Because she would just totally believe it. She would... Actually, well... Yeah, no, she would. Because, like, there's not really a way for her to detect if it's, like, someone that... Whatever. Yeah. We should totally have Freya run into Elia, by the way. Just even for a second. Just like, oh yeah, hello so-and-so that isn't so-and-so. Translates to current state reminder 1. What was that? Oh, that was for this. Interesting. And then we have another divinity and obscenity thing.
Fostered more.
Oh, of course it's not going to play because Discord is stupid. I'll give it a second. She could do a real good Waters, but she hasn't had the opportunity yet. Ooh, as far as you know. Diego scares me, get away from the hospital. Yeah, same.
Fostered more.
Why won't you go any further, please? Hold on, I usually have to do this. Reload the...
Fostered more.
Oh my god, I'm so pissed off by this stupid thing. Oh, here we go. The weather's rather beautiful today, don't you think?
You want something. You wouldn't be here otherwise.
You are so quick to assume.
Why would you wander to the same place twice? Don't say you were passing by. You were waiting.
We can just say I heard what happened.
Did you now? I apologize, but you wasted your time. Everything is fine. You are not needed.
Fine, I'll make my leave. Tell them I said hi. I say hi. Interesting. So, there's someone in the hospital. I mean, is this just with Okul? Is this about Okul? Is this Okana or something? I don't know. Is this Waters? No. Feels too on the nose. Exactly. They scare me too. It is so cold over here. I'm freezing. Yeah, the voice was CJ. Which, fantastic job, by the way. We also have something for We Don't Have Many Days. That's exciting. But yeah, I have no... It's really comfy. Let me show you the whole thing. Ugh! My mom got it for me. Ugh! Let me make sure you can actually see it. Hold on. Do that whenever I want to. Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bomb. Damage 0? Shut the fuck up, Mika. She would stalk them for several days to get an idea how to act like them. Interesting. Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bomb. They That's a good point here, guys. It would make sense with their OC network relationships, but I don't know. Job application still doesn't work? Maybe that's for the best. Here. Ah! 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 Are you happy now? Forg isn't gonna work either, Shin. I'm sorry. It's because this weekend, hopefully, I will be able to get 2 out of 3 things that I need for my desk setup stuff. Because I can only have one monitor, and so I can't use my Lord Tuesday setup because it looks like this. And I'm too lazy to change it anyway. Sorry. But continuing. These logs that you're gonna get this month are really important. Pick between nature and animals. Nature. Most of her chaos follows waters, so someone connected to waters in some way is a definite victim of Elia's potential form shifting. Okay, goof.
Personal log. We stopped at another system today. Things were going as usual until I spotted a kid in the crowd. He was crying, calling for his parents. He looked so lost. Something in me... I don't know. When he got to the front, he was begging for his life. He offered to help us with improving the machine and gave me his notebook. It was full of diagrams and notes from experiments. If anything, the kid is creative. Hunter was obviously against it, but I convinced him to let me take him into the holding cell. Something, I could use him in engineering. He's been there for a few days now, but won't say anything to me. Just doodling in his notebook. I'm gonna pick up another one for him at the next station. That one seemed almost full. I have a meeting with Omen about this in a few minutes. I should get going. End log.
Wonder if Elia could look like Eclipse. Anyway, we're getting Eclipse lore. Hee hee ha ha, the plot thickens. Someone's here. I just realized I had it on dark mode. I'm so sorry. Someone is here. Someone is most definitely here inside my home without me knowing until now. I know because my perfectly organized rows and stacks of cans of tomato soup and packages of instant ramen are now haphazardly shoved into wherever they fit. Hell, a box of granola bars fell onto my head. The most damning piece of evidence was sitting on the counter, a box of pancake batter that was now torn open and half emptied of the powdered batter. There weren't any dishes in the sink or even to be washed, leaving 2 options. Either this person made pancakes, then washed and dried and put up all the dishes, or they ate the pancake batter dry. A part of me that wasn't scared for my life found that funny. However, a part of me that was scared decided to leave. The small basement that made up my apartment already felt haunted. Drawings ZZ had made hung on the fridge, and their lettering practice sat strewn about. So I took a blanket and a pillow and resigned to sleeping on a bench, tucked away in a corner near the community center with a small overhang to protect from rain. Now that I think about it, this was probably the worst decision I could have made. I'm out in the open. Anyone could attack me. It was the community garden where I saw that entity watching me from the trees. Eclipse always seems ready to attack. I decided to go back to my house and grab a butcher's knife, the same one I nearly attacked Magos with. At least I wouldn't be defenseless. I just don't want to deal with whatever is in my house, since facing a problem head-on clearly hasn't worked in the past. If there's an easy solution, I don't see it. I don't want to go to the Keepers of Solace because they're not going to be able to do anything. There's no army or even really a police force. No offense to the Joker's Corner, but they're a literal circus and I highly doubt they can help. Maybe I could try to find some kind of literature from the House of Ocular Enlightenment, some kind of prayer to protect me in my own home. But for now, I'll lay here, on an old wood bench that's meant for people to sit and look into the small pond near it, not for sleeping. Tonight it got quite cold and I had to wrap the blanket around myself tighter. I hope the numbing chill will go away soon. I hope no one heard my crying. Aw, poor Truffle. They're always suffering. Everyone is suffering SMP right now. The triple eclipses. Froggy's journal. Froggy! Number 8. It's been a while since I wrote one of these. Yeah, it has. Not sure if anyone will really read them, but it's good to get things out there. I had to run away. Okel, she was getting way too out of hand and I couldn't take it anymore. I know I said I'd take Sunny with me and run to Croy and Kron, but something about her told me that she might have been far too deep into this for me to take her. I know that's bad thinking. I don't know what's been going on with me. I've been having weird dreams and memories about someone. Being back in that lab, that mean and cruel doctor, a big explosion, then I wake up. Ever since I ran away, this has been happening, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It even happens when I'm awake now, too. I feel meaner now. Like everything wants to kill me. I know that's not true. It's not true. It's not true, right? I'm going back now, to Solace. I didn't really tell anyone I was leaving because I didn't want it getting back to Oakland in case she tried to find me. But it's been a few weeks now and I haven't heard anything. Maybe I'll go to Croy and Kron and tell them why I've been gone. I just hope nothing too big has happened since then. The doctor, I still remember him. That twisted smile and conniving voice. He scares me. Even now, I sometimes feel him breathing right behind me, waiting to take me back to that lab, wanting to do tests on me. Please don't let him take me back. I won't go back. I can't go back. Mira also did canonically find where she wants to hold her wedding. Hell yeah. I figure, like, yeah, like a lot of the stuff on the OC network thing isn't canon, but there's opportunity for canon stuff. We have another Divinity Obscenity thing. What shall it be this time? More Discord being stupid. It's Slenderman! Ah! I have really fast internet now. Why is this happening? It's just with Discord. And it just does that. Oh yeah, there's lore sheets we should... Chaos kissing Rando and Minnie is not canon! Dude, that was the craziest thing. My favorite was Freya saying, like, oh man, everyone's kissing people except me. And then Nikta says the Italian is right there. Freya needs to do some research on what kissing is. Human culture, you know? But yeah, she responded was like, that's scary. I need to do research. She will do research. And then she will practice that research. Or she'll... What's the word? Like, you do research and, like... And then you like, execute it, you know? That's what... They're gonna kiss, eventually. Don't worry. You found a what? Do not know what any of these have to do with each other. Aura farming. Kissing loaves of bread? That's crazy! She kisses every cupcake she makes. Why can't I just imagine Freya hitting her head against Marcelo? 100%. She's like... She's got decent coordination now, but like... You know... When she tries something new... Like, someone should try to teach her how to cartwheel. She would suck at it. She would... she would not know how to cartwheel. But yeah, I haven't decided where, like, when and... I mean, I've decided when. It's gonna be, like... I think Valentine's Day is what I decided. the tree and where Belios stood. Belios took note of where Malice went. He planned his route and made a black, shadowy set of wings on his back. He tests his wings, but stretching and flapping them before taking off. Malice watched him take to the skies. He lifted his hand and sent a barrage of roots and vines at Belios. Belios dodged most. Some did cut him across his face and arms, but he didn't worry. He just continued. He just needed to reach the tree. Malice then made clumps of earth get thrown at Belios. Belios dodged the clumps. He made a hammer of vines and roots appear to destroy the clumps before they hit him. Belios passed Malice in height. That's when Malice stopped the weak attacks. He made his axe appear and began flying after Belios, sending green waves with each swing of his axe. Most of the waves missed Belios, but one sliced through his wing, causing his stance to falter. Instead of falling, roots from the floor, they rose quickly enough to catch Belios with a tumble. He faced Malice, wiping the blood from his face. He let out a chuckle. He lifted his right hand as the blood that had dripped from his body rose, the droplets turning into tiny, shattered blades. He aimed his hand towards Malice, and the droplets shot off in a flurry, the blood piercing through Malice. Malice faltered, the droplets hitting the important organs in a matter of seconds. He tilted back and dropped. He fell to the ground, landing and making a crater in the ground. Belios watched, then turned and continued his way to the tree. He made his wings again and made it to the trunk of the tree. He made his blade turn into a small dagger, and he cut off a piece of the bark. I just realized I turned off the music, sorry. The moment the bark was in his hands, he felt a surge of strength. Then pain shot through his head. His antlers began tearing through the skin of his head, growing large. He let out a yell as the pain only got worse. The tattoos on his left arm began to glow a light green. He let out another yell as he fell backwards off the tree. He then appeared in front of the eternal flame beside Malice, who was fully healed. The flame surrounded Belios and began healing the cuts and soothing the pain from the gashes the antlers grew through. You have mastered the element of nature. The antlers are a sign of life and peace, Malice said, his voice sweet and proud. Romus stepped up behind Belios. Get some rest. Your next trial is tomorrow. What are we talking about? Shaped like Starscream's flight mode, but has green and red and white lights blinking on it? Huh? Transformers. More than meets the eye. Oh yeah, we got a frog video. Clowning around gone wrong. I'm in this one! Guys, I'm in this one! Oh, there's a Google Doc. Should I... Okay, do we watch the video first or read the doc first? You put on Transformers music right after. My son. Thoughts? Do we... Well, we'll watch the video first, and then I don't know if we read the document or not.
Wait, go back. Go back a little closer to the land.
Okay. Wait. No. I see that. I see it.
What?
Silence.
Hi.
Violence. What do you?
Don't
run! Don't run!
Stop. Violence. Come back. We're not gonna do anything.
Violence. We're not gonna do anything.
Okay.
Please, we just want to talk.
We can read it anyway.
Come on.
It's locked. Wow,
Good point,
you
Bagel.
can lock doors really quickly. Please.
Why?
We won't do anything. We just want to talk. Are you okay with that?
Please.
Why did y'all follow me?
Because we
We're
saw
worried
you.
about you.
He has
That
an
is-
axe. He has an axe, Feather.
Yeah, the Lava Chicken music
I'm
is
very,
really funny.
very much outdoors.
What?
We're,
You want?
We just wanted to know
Why
why
did
you
you-
did those things.
Do what? What did I do? What exactly
You-
did I do wrong?
You contacted Eclipse.
the
Okay,
evil person that
and-
tried to destroy this world.
Look, I don't understand why y'all care. All right, y'all guys I don't. What? Why?
You're our friend, and you just randomly did this thing.
Your
A
friend.
very wrong thing.
You can't trust everyone.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
I know.
Remember that. You wanna know why I did it?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it was funny. That is the only reason. I did it because I wanted to.
I mean,
and I
yeah,
wanted to see what
same
happened.
difference.
It wasn't.
You're an
experience.
outsider now. Apparently.
Oh, that's completely fine. I am so okay with that.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Do you want to hide in like one of our houses or something? Since you're homeless?
You can hide in the tavern's basement.
You're offering to help someone who aided a war criminal.
I was about to say.
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
put y'all in danger and also suspects to, my case of aiding said war criminal?
I mean,
Yeah.
who
Wouldn't
would
that put y'all in
suspect
trouble?
somebody? Okay, why would somebody suspect Frog or me of hiding you in our house? I mean, Frog, she's an old, good, innocent, Algali child. Yeah, nobody will suspect.
Okay,
I have a spot in my basement.
okay.
You're alright with that.
It's like a panic room, but I can.
I could, but I will let y'all
A
guys
wild
know
Virgil.
that after General Okul gets out of the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
I will be going to her.
You're gonna aid Okul?
I'm gonna go there and just hide out
Oh.
and possibly
First
help her
Eclipse,
with
then
her
Okul.
plans. I'm assuming I'm going with y'all now.
If you want.
You don't have to.
I mean,
Okay, either than Frog's old basement, you can probably live in upstairs of the old tavern. I don't think Minnie goes there.
I wanna go home. Let's go. Come on, clown boy.
Come on, clown boy.
Oh my
all
god,
right.
I can't. Are you gonna let her say that to you?
Come on, clown boy.
Come on, clown boy.
Everyone calls me that now.
Here, if you press this ender pearl, it opens up a hole.
How do I get out of this panic room? This
Panic
doesn't
room.
seem very foolproof.
Ha! I trapped you! Ooh! I've trapped the criminal! I've got him!
But you also trapped yourself.
No, I'm out
I
here!
mean, you
Feather, watch the hole, okay? Do not let him out, okay? You promise?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
find Freya.
Guys, I'm in this one.
Freya?
Yeah?
I don't know how to say this, but you know Violence? I have him at my house.
Oh,
I caught him
do you
at
need,
my house.
you caught him?
Yeah! I told him I would hide him at my house, but I just put him in a hole.
Okay, we need to find some way to transport him, I guess.
By boat, maybe?
I've never arrested anyone before.
First time for everything.
I finally got a video, I'm so happy. You did not scare me with that, by the way.
He's in my basement. Hey, Feather. I got Freya.
Get him down here.
I lied.
Oh,
I feel really
hi.
bad I lied. I made a panic room because I was afraid of Eclipse.
Trident.
So I made a hole. He's in there. Just you have to open the
Hello?
shulker. You have to open the shulker and get in there.
I was so confused how it
I'll
worked.
do it for you. Look.
Oh. Oh. I can just do this.
Oh. Man, you can just face your things. I forgot.
Yeah, I kind of don't physically exist.
I kind of forgot about that part. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's mad. He's very mad.
Hey, let's
He did a bad thing.
You're lucky I
not do
can't hurt you.
anything-
Hey!
Not do anything.
Hey,
Wait, leave me.
You did a bad thing.
You're lucky.
That's so funny.
You're lucky.
Just must be standing. Sorry, that cracked me up. Can see you getting the idea exactly.
Yeah, I can't hurt you.
Anything-
Hey!
Not do anything
Hey, wait!
drastic here.
My punchline! How are we doing this? I'm caught now.
Do I get like a prize or something for capturing him?
Wait, lady.
Or does this count
I
as like
don't know if there was
kidnapping?
a bounty on him, but that would be
Just let me
something to
go
ask
now.
Mira or Lux.
Okay.
You just let me go right now. We're very bad at this.
Never arrested someone before. I'm sorry. How is it
How are we-
supposed to
how-
go?
Oh, what the hell?
Sorry.
Why is it raining down here?
There's water
Leaky
down
roof.
here.
What is this? Cannot be legal.
Alright, come on,
Minnie
Violet.
is just Minnie is just there for some reason. Been
You
down
in the
here
last
before.
cell.
Freya,
one
I
do
think
I
it's
want?
time to very, very much question your judges. I'm thinking of
I
one
don't even
right
have a
now.
bed.
Judgment.
I don't even have a bed. That's
Well,
fine,
my-
I'll just sleep
This
on
is
my
I'm
I'm
on
on
you,
accommodations for my son.
Oh,
Let's see. What kind of bed do you want? What's your
Purple.
favorite color?
purple.
We should give him 2 trap doors. So it's like an actual jail cell.
can you like
Mhm.
lather them onto me?
Sure.
Why are we? What is going on here? Why are we lathering frog eggs onto? Huh? Oh my gosh.
Fuck, we're sorry. Yeah,
old
we're sorry.
tavern.
We're sorry.
Where's violence?
I don't know.
Violence? He escaped. He
Violence.
escaped.
I think
No!
violence went in the hole.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, they're
Whoa,
plugging up the
where am I?
hole.
Where am I?
Go faster. Go!
Nice.
I was literally deleting
Where's
parts of
the-
the
Oh, doggy.
This is canon, by the way.
This
This
is
is all
fully
canon.
canon.
Alright.
You have
Okay,
a
so
bird,
we
a
technically
frog,
do this.
A spider, and a clown on your shoulder.
Hold on for dear life. I will say that.
Oh
Uh-oh.
god.
Guys, nothing is loaded for me. I can't see a thing.
I
Or
blinded him. Oh, that's too good. That was funny. Yeah, I mean, technically, I've been doing it a lot recently. Freya could hold people, like, any amount of people on her shoulders. She's infinitely strong. I liked the prison. Good job. Good job to all of my judges. Trial to Fear. I had dark mode on the whole time. Were you guys able to see okay? I'm so sorry. I always forget. Was it too dark? Belios feels strongly about his fears, and most of them are in some way violent, so here are the warnings. Not that this isn't all his fears, just some negative ones that he feels strongly towards. Gore, blood, death, disembodiment. No? It was bad? Or it wasn't that bad.
Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bomb is shaped like a deer.
After a night of rest, Belios woke up. the poison in his system still aching within his skin. Green veins were starting to grow from his face down his neck, but he didn't let that bother him. He stood and looked at the eternal flame. The colors in the fire changed from orange to green to a deep red and to a soft teal before going back to orange. A thought went through his head. What if I don't survive the trials? But before he could dwell on the thought, Romis came up from behind him. Are you ready for the next trial? She asked, her tone more serious than normal. Belios nodded and faced Romis. She placed her hand on Belios' shoulder, and they appeared in the void. It was empty except for stairs leading down. There were little bulbs of light that only highlighted the stairs. The second trial is of fear, learning to use your darkness to make fear reality, and not using just decaying spikes. Follow the stairs down, face your deepest fears, master the dark, Romis said before she vanished. Belios took a deep breath and began descending the stairs. He believed he didn't fear much or anything at all. He made it to the first floor. It appeared as the training hall of the old castle. His father was training with a dummy. Also, Mika, I saw that you commented on the Yelena thing. Just you wait. Just you wait. I am looking forward to writing that out. Belios never feared his father, but he feared what his father did, the corruption that was within his body and soul. Belios stepped forward. He grabbed an iron sword from a rack and began walking towards his father. I'm not a stalker, I just got that notification. His father turned and faced Belios. Still salty after that spike, he chuckled. Round 2 then, father, Belios said, the blade in his hand turning black with mist pouring off of it. You know me well, his father said, making a rapier appear in his hand. Zenthos ran at Belios, ready to swing his blade. Can't get me, I'm solid. I'm unbeatable. But he was never able to hit Belios as a wave of large spikes shot out from the ground. He ripped through Zenthos. Limbs flew and blood splattered. The body parts decayed at a rapid pace, going from normal to bone to ash. Then the floor of the room opened, leading to another stairway. Belios followed it down. It led to another room. This time it was the mountain cliff, where he faced Elia, his fear of death. This was the moment he was close to dying again. He didn't feel the first death, but he almost felt it here. Then he heard that chuckle. It made him clench the sword in his hand. He heard the water rush towards him. He made spikes make a wall to stop the water. He took off, running, trying to figure out where she was. He heard the laughter, but he couldn't see her. Another wave came at him. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, and he sidestepped the wave. He couldn't see her, but he could sense her. He began dodging strikes before they happened. Then he heard the footsteps. He opened his eyes, blocking Elia as she went to strike with her sword. Elia had a split face. One side was of an old man, possibly a pirate. The other was of a godly woman. Belios recognized this, the fake version and her real version. He remembered seeing the different faces. He kicked her away, swinging his sword, and a wave of dark energy flew at Elia. She dodged, but multiple were sent her way again. She used her sword, using waves of water to block the attacks. She lunged at Belios again. Belios dodged and kicked her to the ground. This wasn't her fighting style. He knew that, but how would the gods make the same fighting style on a dummy? She fell to the ground. Belios' eyes began to glow a bright maroon. He lifted his blade and began stabbing her repeatedly. He didn't stop, just kept going. He heard the corpse chuckle before going quiet. Belios had blood on his hands and sword. The door next to the next level opened, and he went down. This one was the area where Belios had corrupted the forest. The weeping willow was in the middle of it all. Its leaves give off a purple mist that flows in the wind. In front of the tree stood Romis in all her irritating glory. Her face had changed from the normal humanoid one to the skull of a deer, with large antlers that grew from the sides, and candles that were on each of the points. In her hand was a scythe which had a faint blue glow. Belios dropped the sword in his hand, making a vine band appear in his hand, and he put his hair in a bun. He then began taking calm steps towards Romis, but Romis, ever the impatient, charged at Belios. She lifted her blade to swing down. Belios grabbed it with his right claw before kicking her back. Her grip on the scythe betrayed her. She fell back, letting go of the scythe. Belios threw it to the ground. I have waited years to beat the shit out of you. You are so annoying, and you're cocky, sloppy, and you believe you're better. You fought like you can't get hurt, but I'll show you pain. Sorry. Belios spoke. His voice turned dangerous. His eyes glowed brighter. He made gauntlets appear over his hands. He tackled Romis and began slamming his fist down over and over again, rage from the past boiling over, taking control of his main task. Romus vanished and appeared on the ground away from him, blood seeping through cracks in the skull. She coughs up blood before making a pedestal appear, signaling he passed the trial. He glared at her before turning to the pedestal, on it which was a broken mask laid on it, which was black with golden designs. But before we could pick it up, he stepped to the side as Romus swung her scythe down to the spot he was just standing at. Belios turned and grabbed the mask and kicked her back. Vines made of dark matter grew from the floor and shot toward. She tried to dodge, but the vines went through her limbs. She cried out in pain as Belios put the mask on. The vines grew thorns on the ends. The thorns grew before reaching Romus, but she vanished before more damage could be done. Belios vanished too, appearing back in front of the eternal flame. Romus was now being healed. He had no wounds, so he just sat down. The others were upset that he went too far, but that was a curse with darkness. Sethos stepped over to Belios, speaking calmly. Your next trial is of blood, but because we have no blood god, you will learn to harness your corruption as well as mending your soul back to normal. You'll start in 2 days. Calm yourself. She walked away after. Anima's audio logs number 1, research's goal.
This is my first proper look. I'm doing this as I head to the meeting on the laws of silence. Solace. Ugh. It's stupid how I have to put on a mask to prevent any unfortunate accidents. But, well, I guess in this I now need to talk about the goal of my research. I am researching how to transfer the soul from one body to another. I have a basic machine designed for this process. From my one prior experiment, I found that the body a soul is transferred to needs to be a soulless husk. Yet, luckily, due to my own prior research, before I arrived on Solace, I can easily create soulless, homunculus bodies as the host of the soul. As in the prior research, which the only problem with a homunculus is that the thing preventing one from being truly living is the absence of a soul. But anyway, back to the goal at the end of this research. I plan to transfer my own soul to another, better body to escape the sickness and pain that this damned body plagues me with, and hopefully surpass the weakness of a vampire. The reliance on the blood of other humanoids for proper existence. But now, Anima signing off on the research's goal.
I was muted the whole time. My bad. I was just saying, I don't remember what I was saying with this. Something about vampires and whatever. We got another one of these. 4th one of the week, though. I will grace these people with a true patron. Subscribe to my Patreon, guys. Then you can grace me with a true patron. Seriously though, support the SMP. Subscribe. All of that. A wild Virgil passes once again.
I'm not here.
He's not there. Yeah, I'm hallucinating. Alright, Ambush. Fun fact about Ambush. He had or still has a husband. Gay! Oh, sorry about that. Let me turn on the thing again. It was just another monotonous night. Pitch black with crickets chirping. With nothing going on, what was I meant to do except find someone to torment? Perfect, considering I had just the right person who needed to be threatened. Truffle. Oh my god, Truffle can never catch a break. During the meeting, a point was apparently brought up about torture becoming illegal. Surprised that it wasn't already, but better late than never, I suppose. I sensed how Truffle was feeling that beautiful emotion, fear, so I watched from the shadows of the courthouse walls. Apparently, that little playdate we had so long ago had scared them shitless to the point they needed to contact the pathetic bitches at the Keepers of Solace. Frey would like the term bitches of Keepers of Solace. Her favorite word in English is bitch. They ran out of the courthouse after that, going to the bench that they had been sleeping on for like a week. The community center had small booklets in it, and a pen on the receptionist's desk. I watched over Truffle's shoulder as they started writing out a letter, requesting that Lux have a meeting with them regarding me? It was a detailed description of the games I had played with them, and even some of the bits and pieces of what I looked like. While I wasn't too worried about the so-called authorities, they would be quite the pest to deal with. Plus, the fewer people who know about me, the more insane Truffle looks, and the more fun I can have watching the fallout. Luckily, it would seem that now my words carry just as much weight as my actions. Oh, is the bonk not in the right place? Sorry, it's because I had... Do you guys want Marcello back? Do I still have Tiny Marcello? Do you guys want Tiny Marcello, or you want to be able to pat me and bonk me? The game is torture. Oh yeah, I know. Tiny Cello. Look at him. Just a little tiny guy. Don't bonk him! Don't bonk him! It hurts him! No, you're so mean. No, don't bonk him! Why did he deserve this? He has no brain cells. Zinnia, or freaking Cece, whatever. I will tell you what Yelena would think of Zinnia. You're like a magnet that draws in misfortune. Water is about Truffle. I just saw the notification that you commented on the thing. Alright, continuing. I called out to Truffle, voice quiet so the cameras wouldn't pick it up. Truffle. They froze up in an instant, tensing. Ambush? You wouldn't want them to deal with the same pain I put you through, do you? And they don't heal as fast as you do, Truffle. They held the letter in their hands, staring at it for a while before igniting it to a dance of reds, oranges, and a core of yellow. The ashes of the paper and charred, shriveled-up leather book cover were the only things that remained. They just sat on the community center bench for a while, holding that butcher's knife and rocking themselves back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. All the while they breathed like they were having an asthma attack. However, it wasn't long before they fell unconscious. Truffle cannot catch a break. Jeez. It's time. From Zilangasu. If you see this, I did not make it. I have died. The thing I feared all along got me. Maybe he haunted me for what I've done. I'm not sure. I just know I should thank Truffle for taking me in when I first got here. Thank you to those who have taken their time with me. I shall go. May I be forever in your hearts, even if I wasn't well known. I don't think I'm going to heaven or hell, but I may see you guys again. May I return someday. Zilangasu. Oh. Okay. 07. Are they coming back as a ghost, though? That's the question. Divinity Obscenity, this is your 5th post here. Tisk tisk. Magos lore, power sources, and law. Entries booting up. Entry 24. General things. I have been very busy lately, not with stitching people together though. I have been working on a power source. It feels so refreshing to be working on something that fits so well in my comfort zone. The only downside is I do not have enough energy to jumpstart it. This has been driving me up a wall, like when I had to resign every plug-in in the hospital to fit my tech and be more efficient. I also just dislike how they look with their earthly design. Right, I need to get back to the topic, the power source. Maybe if I can get 5 lightning bolts to jumpstart it, or maybe contact Freya. Freya could 100% just do that for you, by the way. She is energy. I have no clue where they could be on this planet. My scarabs have already gone through loops monitoring energy distortions that she may cause. I might need to schedule a meeting if the lightning doesn't work. I heard you could contact her with her comms device. It's super easy. She could just teleport over there. I heard there may be law discussions coming up. I will hopefully ensure that I will remain in control of this little setup I have going on. The only person that might give me trouble, I theorize, may be Comet, but they are a hermit at times and alone, so I should be able to change any law that they can create that might affect me negatively. I do not hate Comet, I just disliked how they treated Alfred and didn't sign his forms they needed to leave. I also need to be wary of Starry. I've noticed during meetings Starry has pulled out a weapon multiple times for Comet, and being stabbed is not one of my favorite hobbies. Mira will not make any laws that will negatively affect me because her neck is also on the line after our last encounter. I love Magos. Bagel makes really good characters. Your internet cut out. No. Content warning mentions of violence. Unclean and broken, the survivors surfaced from the wreckage, surrounded by the bodies of those they felled. And as the blood spilt into the ruined ground, it spelt for them, the blank will return to cleanse. Herit Otiate, cleanse of conquest. Okay. No, we don't know who Divinity is. Violence the Clown mentioned? Feels like Among Us. My gosh, it's the imposter, guys. That's who they are. Oh, I voiced acted in this one. Yippee! Just some past, lucky past stuff to clear up the lab confusions, hopefully. Thank you to these lovely people for voicing some characters for me. Truffle, Glitch, Zilangsu, and Freya.
If it isn't my little lucky duck, what are you doing here?
Papa says you made a brilliant discovery for a new me.
It's medicine, Lucky. And why, yes, I did. I'm glad that you came.
Yes. It's not often you discover a new pill to aid with...
I want to be just like you when I grow up. A medicine doctor.
You can be whatever you want to be, Lucky. You're gonna do great things, I'm sure of it.
Been reading a lot lately, haven't you? What is it?
Yes, Pa. But I'm studying medications. I find
Lucky, I've told you. You deliver mail like your old man. That's the family business, and no daughter of mine will...
Pa! Ma was...
Don't start with your mother. She passed away due to her little experiments, and you will not do the same. You hear me? Grab your bag, Lucky. We have real work to do.
Aww.
Sorry I was late, Dr. Fleming. You know how work is.
Well, that is quite all right, dear. Grab me the hydrochloric acid, would you?
So, will you actually let me work with the chemicals today, or...?
Now, this takes time. You must learn everything before you just start mixing things willy-nilly.
I know. I should be happy you're even letting me in here.
Exactly. You know, you may look like your father, but you sure do remind me of Ophelia.
I sure do hope you're proud.
I'm gonna cry. That was so sad. Oh. I feel like I did not get the vibe of the video. I would have just... I was like, okay, crazy old lady. Time to sound like a crazy old lady. Oh my god. Oh, that was so sad. All of you did such a good job. Who did the kid?
If it isn't my little lucky duck, what are you doing here?
Papa says you made a...
Who did the kid? That was Truffle? No way. Zilangsu. Oh, you were the mother. But Zilangsu did the kid. That was crazy. Are you an actual child? Do I need to ban you? We can get out of here. Fantastic work. It was virtual. Oh, here we go. Peak. Peak approaching. Get ready for peak. Okay. Good to know. Time to cry. Yeah, crying and more crying. Here we go. After discovering the reason for her creation, Zinnia makes the decision to head back to Solace. Hopefully this place won't collapse on me. Dr. Stephanie. Here it is. Mom's old office. Whoa, the regrowth is insane in here. Same room Mary. No. I can't focus on that. Still, it's a weird coincidence. Huh? Paper? Someone hid this here? It's a letter. Dear Mama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting sick, for keeping you away from your work and causing you stress. Thank you for keeping me company, even if you snore. Thank you for being my mother. This is from the original Zinnia. I'll see you again one day. Don't rush. I'm good at waiting. I love you. Z. She died from an illness? That's horrible. Then did Mom make me to spend more time with her daughter? I wasn't just an experiment. I was made with love. Oh! Oh! Oh my god, my heart. This is incredible. She was made with love, guys. She was made with love. Oh, that's insane. That's peak right there. Mika? From Light, Journal 11. Mentions of violence, minor cursing, poisons, and threats. Please do not translate the Morse code and Caesar cipher right away. Let Freya figure it out. Fine. I'll open another tab. Or someone can do it for me while I'm reading. November 12, 2497. 12 of the clock, noon. Clock strikes 12. Midnight, or noon, arrives. I will forever curse the day Elia arrived on the planet. I had been watching the footage from the attack over and over again, enough times to make Dr. Magos shut my terminal off. Curse him. During my visit with Kron and Croy, Elia, disguised as Dr. Magos, had come in out of the rain. She had gone straight to Waters' room. She was going to kill him. Gods, I'm tired. Dr. Magos is tending to Waters' wounds from the attack at the moment I'm writing this. The Scarabs are running about, amping up security around the hospital. I'll add wards as well. Of course, everyone on Solace will enter without issue with the exception of Elia and Eclipse. Can I just look this up? No, I have to copy it. Morse code translator. I would add Akana to that list, but so far he has done nothing to warrant such a ban. I despise him. Dr. Magos will not be happy with me putting my health at further risk. I doubt Waters would either, since he didn't see how bad my condition is. I'll need to start experimenting with cures for this blasted poison. I'm not even sure if Solace is the environment for such a cure. Maybe I'll ask Waters about the environment of his homeworld. I might be able to replicate it on a smaller scale. I don't think Waters is doing too good. He's quieter than usual. He's tense and certainly more paranoid. He's trying to hide. I'll admit he is doing a good job at it. But it's hard to hide much of anything from someone who is 2,200 years old. Don't give me an ad. Especially since I had to learn to do so in order to avoid my father's wrath during the war. I wanted to avoid him breaking my leg. Again. Oh. I'll walk him back to the facility. If Elia was bold enough to attack the hospital like this, I have no doubt she wouldn't take advantage of the fact he is alone, even if injured. Caesar. Sorry. Wait. Damn it. Fuck. Hello? I need to talk to Waters about the tapes I had found. There we go. Fun fact, Oliver can do the entire clock strikes 12 dance. That's funny. I need that rotoscoped. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to burn Kathy's collection of poisonous plants. She and I had a talk. Being near her makes me sick. She acts like a grandmother. She acts like she is kind. She isn't. She's far from kind. I'd lost my temper a tad bit, killed an entire tree. She had a poison in her pocket. I'd smelled it before I went to sit with Kathy. I guess that she was trying to figure out how to slip it to me. She claims that she wasn't going to, but I don't believe her. I didn't threaten her. I suspect that she's going to target those Belios spoke to, Frog and I, about her and the fact she's poisoned people. Shift by 13? Shift by 13. Oh, the Caesar cipher. Thank you. Going to leave for tonight. I have to pick up a friend from school tomorrow. I love you all, wonderful humans. I'll see you in the next one. That's the first thing that came to mind when you said badass outro music. I don't know if that's badass. Bye. Have a good night, Glitch. I did threaten her. I suspect that she's going to target those Belios spoke to, Frog and I, about her and the fact she's poisoned people. I do not care about my own life, but I do care about Frog. Do care about your own life. She is one of my few friends on this planet. So I swear, if Kathy tries to hurt her in any form, I will rip her form apart until there is nothing left to send back to the afterlife. Get her! I never liked Kathy. This is Croy. I'm going to be leaving the hospital for at least a few hours. Kron had admitted that while they were looking for me when I was occupied, and had damaged one of the doors of the SUNC station. They're too unwell to go apologize and fix it themselves, along with too scared of Waters. So I'm going to collect some medals and leave them at the station. I'm sure there are some types in Havoc's home collecting dust. Due to recent events, I worry my actions might make Waters further uncomfortable, whether I reveal myself to one of the cameras or just leave a chest outside the door. Gods, I will figure it out on the way. It will be fine. Kron is resting and it is relatively calm at the moment in the hospital. I will be back as soon as I can. Maybe pick up some things for the hospital staff and maybe some of the patients. Especially Light, the poor thing. And then we have another We Don't Have Any Days video.
Engineer's log 607. I've adjusted the wiring in the lower module to fit more snugly. I shouldn't have to deal with that tangled mess anymore. My next step involves... Hang on. Yes?
Happy birthday! I have something for you.
Eclipse, you really don't have to... Is that cake?
Yep, I baked it myself.
I don't know what to say. Oh, let me stop the log. I'll finish it later.
I do have one more surprise afterwards, but let's eat first.
Okay.
This one breaks me every time. For those who don't know, the green is Cypher. Little Cypher. Eclipse is redeemable. Not anymore. I mean, maybe if you guys hadn't killed Cypher, which a lot of you, weren't here for that. Or you didn't kill Cypher, but, sending him to his doom. Yeah. Krupik! And he's dead! Is Eclipse a Freya or Virgil character? What do you mean? Eclipse, all the members of Echo are my creation. Virgil's just Marcello. I don't think he's created any other characters for the SMP. Permission to Thirst? Sure, whatever. I don't care what people think about my characters. That's a... I mean, you know what Eclipse looks like. I already know you thirst over her. Can I get that permission as well? Sure. I'll tell Glacier y'all are thirsting over Eclipse. By the way, Glacier voices Eclipse. And Shorts voices young Cypher here. And did a really good job. One chance I can fix her. I already told Cece that there's an AU out there where Eclipse is good and Cece gets to have her. Eclipse is canonically, I made her a lesbian canonically, but she hasn't ever been with anyone. I can make her worse. Uh-oh. Final trial plus crash landing. Death, dismemberment, decapitation, blood, and fighting. Oh, that's great. 2 days had passed in a blur, but the day of the trial was here. Balios would learn to control his corruption and use it to do good. Sethos went over to Balios, placing her hand on his shoulder and making the two, along with the other gods, appear in an old ruined temple of a blood god from long ago. There was a table in the middle, and he went to the table as Sethos spoke. Normally, we'd make you fight whatever blood god was here, but since there is none, you get to try and cure your corruption. And if you can't do that, then at least learn to make it usable force to use. Channel your magic towards your chest where your soul gem is, and try to pull the corruption out. Balios listened, holding his hands to his chest, his eyes glowing as he focused back on his magic. An orb appeared. It was a mixture of colors flashing red or green, and a black mist poured off of it. It got large as Balios pulled his hands away from his chest. He could almost feel the lifted weight of the corruption leaving until the ceiling caved in. Debris was falling all around. In the sky, a sigil was floating over the top of the building. The sigil was of a sword, with the guard being a sun with a crescent moon. The blade and handle were of a dark matter stronger than Balios. The moon and the sun began to spin clockwise as the sun spun counterclockwise. The sun and the moon parted from the blade, fell to the ground, almost hitting Balios. It left a void in the world. Then a river of blood poured from the opening. It flowed to the ground, seeping into the cracks of the stone. Then the blood began moving towards the sun and moon, forming a figure on top of the pieces. Aerosol, Venos said, fear in his tone, not normal for him. The primordial being of blood and darkness. The gods went to grab Balios, but the blood in the stones shot up as spikes, blocking the way to him. Balios stood calmly, though there was a slight tremble in his body. The figure turns from blood to normal as if an actual human. He stood around 7 feet tall, and he wore a red sundress with slits that stopped at mid-thigh. The top part of it covered his pecs, but it was open at his abs. Wow, slay! He had black-heeled boots, so it was probably shorter than 7 feet, maybe 3 inches. Aesol looked at Balios and spoke in a sassy tone. So this is the mortal looking to master the art of blood. He looks nothing like a mortal who follows the blood rituals. And what's with this tacky outfit? God is supposed to look nice, not like they crawled out of a grave. Oh, never mind, you did. Aerosol chuckled. He noticed Balios was glaring at him, but he didn't care. Well, if you're here to learn blood magic, I guess I can help. I did make it a thing on this planet. A crash was heard from behind them as Venos used an axe to smash the red spikes. He then ran at Aerosol. Aerosol just looked disappointed. I wasn't scared at all, definitely. He barely lifted a finger as droplets of blood rose and shifted into tiny blades and flew at Venos. He tried to dodge some, but failed. the droplets tearing through Venos' body. He fell back onto the ground, a pool of blood seeping into the stone, mixing with the rest. Malice watched in horror, seeing his husband was stabbed. He rushed over and made it to him, but it was too late. The moment Malice knelt beside Venos, he had taken his final breath. Fanon took to the air, making a red chain with a hook at the end. They threw it at Asal, making it wrap around his neck, but it only earned a scoff. I've been looking for a new choker, but this is too big. Asal chuckled before making a sword appear in his hand. He swung it and sliced Fanon in half. He took off the chain and threw it to the ground as Fanon's body hit the floor. Belios watched in horror as this being killed the others like it was nothing. But before Belios could do something, Sethos had yelled out. Belios looked to see the Watchers shift from the staff he was cursed to be his true form, which was of a dragon priest. Belios had recognized the person, the scars on their arms, the scaled wings, the horns. Belios saw a picture from Kathy. It was her father, Vokun Drogonis. Vokun ran to the chain that Fanon had used, picking it up and running at Asal. For my love, he yelled, before the cursed Fanon and Vokun were married. He jumped up, the chain hardening into a staff. He actually gave Aerosol some trouble. The two fought, but Belios didn't know what to do, fight or flee. He decided to make his fan blade appear and began running at Asal, thinking he would be too distracted with Vokun, but he wasn't. Aerosol kicked Vokun back and turned on Belios, taking his sword and stabbing through his abdomen. Then he kicked Belios back and made spikes go through his body to hold him in the air. You'll have your turn, brat, Aerosol spat angrily before being impaled by Vokun's staff. He turned and swung his sword, slicing off his head and kicking his body to Fanon. Romis watched in horror as she watched all of her friends died, but instead of doing something, she just ran. Sethos, on the other hand, charged Aerosol. The bracelets on her arm began to glow as she made a staff appear. Malice stood up from Venos's body. His body shifted from the normal calm Wendigo to worse. The antler grew larger, his hands became claws, and his body grew bigger to at least 8 feet. He began running at Aerosol with Sethos. Belios broke free of the blood spikes, falling to the ground with a grunt. He slowly stood, his vision blurred, and he began running at Aerosol. Aerosol groaned. These damn brats. Aerosol turned his sword into a staff and slammed it down on the floor. A wave of spikes shot out. Malice took off to the sky. Belios was impaled in the chest. Sethos managed to dodge the spikes and run to Belios, breaking the spike that connected him and laid him on the floor she made. A portal to Solace and made Belios fly through. The portal closed, leaving them to their fate. Airstrike inbound. On Solace, it was a nice, lovely day. People were out and about doing what they needed to do. Frey and Marcello were out walking down the path near the hospital. Truffle had gone to the hospital after a long hiatus. They walked in and went to the front desk where Light was standing, a cane in her hand as she favored her right leg. Hey, Light, it's been a while since I've seen you, hasn't it? Oh, Truffle. Yes, it had been a while. I'm glad to see you are well. I haven't been able to be at the hospital lately because I may have been taking care of a child. They're a little rascal that I can't let out of my sight, but there isn't exactly childcare on Solace. So I've seen the last faction meeting before I'd been kidnapped. How is the little one? They're kind of missing right now. I've already informed the Keepers of Solace, so I can only hope they come back safely now. What? Well, anyway, it was great catching up with you, but I should probably go to what I came here to do, which is get groceries. All right, please take care of yourself, Truffle, and be safe. Truffle had turned to the door with a smile. Frey and Marcello had made it close to the hospital. Then the portal Sethos had opened into the sky. Belios flew out. He slammed into the second floor of the hospital and broke through the second floor. There was a scream before it was cut off violently. Light watched as the floor collapsed onto Fluffle. Fluffle? Light watched as the floor collapsed onto Truffle, blood splattering everywhere. Belios barely conscious on the rubble. Freya dragged Marcello to a spot near the community center. Then she rushed in. She noticed Belios and kind of panicked. Light was already at his side, assessing his wounds. The poison from Kathy was still in effect. There were marks that looked like green veins on the left side of his face. In a corner, Truffle was slowly rebuilding its body. Belios coughed up blood and spoke in a weak voice. That was not a comfortable landing. Then Belios went unconscious. I'm finding Zenithra a new parent. Oh man. I like the idea that Freya just picked him up and moved him. Just not even go over there and stay there. It's what's the stone dragging noise? Well, at least Baelios is out of that mess. Rip to everyone else, though. The Solace Weather Services has issued an asteroid alert for the following areas. Keepers of Solace Hospital, at approximately 1500 today, effective until 1600 today. Message transmission from the SUNC Weather Science Facility. And we have a transcript. Let's go.
Sirs, I have the cameras of the tornado campsite for the grid.
Understood. Waters.
Which screen did you add them to?
Drummer, grid, arrangement, number, green.
Yes, yeah. I see them now. Sirs, are you able at all to confirm the location you were detecting the secondary remote access point from?
I'm afraid I cannot inform you, but at this time.
I didn't even ask.
Orders, there is. Emergency detective, retrieving keepers of all possible camera grid.
That's a live image. It's already impacted. That's not. Sirs, look. How many injuries were you
Jefferson, Gilly damaged, estimating approximately 3 to 4 significant injuries and
hospital staff? Don't answer that. We're all SUNC staff, even if already. I'm going there first. I can get them quickly alone.
understood. Waters.
Being worried for light. I like the safety nets above Keepers of Solace area. That was mentioned in the OC network thing. That's funny. Develop radars that can detect if a falling object is an actual meteor or a person. Improve early warning systems for immediate alerts and the potential detection of a meteor or falling person. That's great. Tell Frey to eat the meteors? That's true. She probably could, like, I don't know if she could do something to the, like, atmosphere of the planet to make it so that things can't fall through it. But the problem is, like, if you can't detect if it's a person or not, she might eat a person. She could technically eat the people that fall to Solace's, you know, ground. All right, Rubble. Just my luck. The past few days being homeless have actually been kind of peaceful and relatively uneventful, excluding some days that I would rather not talk about. I have, of course, been looking for Zenithra. How could I not? It's still no luck. No one else has reported seeing them either, and I just can't help but wonder if the note saying they went to an alternate dimension wasn't just some outlandish toddler imagination. One of the more notable days was Friday. It was late at night when I decided to go into the community center. It was open 24/7 to the public, after all. I was looking at the mailboxes, a little crude and made of oak, while I couldn't bring myself to open my own, being reminded of the hospital work I'd practically ditched. I decided to check the mailbox for the House of Ocular Enlightenment. I wasn't dumb. I knew there were cameras. So I sucked up my dignity and my pride and threw my blanket over my head to somewhat conceal my identity. There were only 2 envelopes. One was an incredibly old one from Light that I had just left in there. However, the other was from Lux. It was a form of faction leaders to fill out with information about a faction's defenses. It was supposed to be filled out by a faction leader, but considering Okul's situation, she wouldn't fill it out anytime soon. Sorry. Not that I think they would even care enough to even look twice at it. So I did her a favor and filled it out myself. A risky move. Indeed. You good? Just heard Virgil cough really loud. I'm gonna go see if he's okay. Hold on. He's fine. Ugh. I tried to make my handwriting more elegant than usual, gripping the pages with the edges of the blanket so as not to get my fingerprints on it. I couldn't get caught. When I was done, I put it into Lux's mailbox. If Okul is stuck in the hospital, how could she possibly write that and put it back into the mailbox? To be fair, the people upstairs have been smoking like crazy recently. The entire room is like hazy. It's awful. Free to claim mailbox have been installed in the Keepers of Solace Salatian Resources building behind the kitchen next to the book room. That's so cool. That's awesome. Just an anonymous member of HOA. Sure. So, Truffle. Honestly, even if I did get caught, I don't think the Keepers of Solace, more so Freya than anyone else, would do anything. But that's not my purpose for writing this small journal entry for today. I had intended to go visit Light while she was working at the hospital. It had been a while and I could use a small mood boost. Sure, I was nervous, but reasonably, what would Light do or say or think that I was so anxious about? Hey Light, it's been a while since I've seen you, hasn't it? Oh, Truffle, yes, it has been a while. I'm glad to see that you're well. I haven't been able to be at the hospital lately because I may have been taking care of a child. They are a little rascal that I can't let out of my sight, but there isn't exactly childcare on Solace. So I've seen at the last faction meeting before I'd been kidnapped. How is the little one? They're kind of missing right now. I already informed the Keepers of Solace, so I can only hope they come back safely now. What? Well, anyway, it was great catching up with you, but I should probably go do what I came down here to do, which is get groceries. Alright, please take care of yourself, Truffle, and be safe. I lied to get out of the conversation I had made awkward by oversharing. Maybe it would be best to talk to Light when I start working again, perhaps during a lunch break. I turned to walk out the door when the roof suddenly came collapsing onto me. Red blood. Blood was everywhere, splattered onto the bleached white walls and floors. I was coughing violently as I tried to drag myself out from under the rubble, just sitting in a corner as I watched my organs and skin reweave themselves back into existence. It was always a dizzying process, even if I had gone through it 2 other times now. That's when I saw him. Belios. Light was kneeling beside him as he mumbled something out before falling unconscious. I immediately rose to my feet, trying to use the medical knowledge I had in treating trauma to help Belios, even as Light screamed at me to go sit back down. In fairness, everything was blurry to me and my ears were ringing. I'm pretty sure all the words that came out of my mouth were slurred like I was drunk. While Light and I were having a mostly one-sided argument, he was trying to convince me to sit down. Waters was treating Belios. Eventually, I was dragged to one of the many rooms at the hospital. I don't really remember anything after that. I know there was a lot of sitting around, waiting for the ringing in my ears to go away. The white bed sheets were stained red. So much red. If I stared long enough, it became a brilliant cyan blue. After a while, I stumbled out of the room. No one was to be seen in the waiting room, if it could even be called a waiting room anymore. It looked more like the old war zones I would fight in more than anything. Even thinking about writing more detail than that makes me nauseous. I gagged. This was probably worse than when Okal came in. One final look around confirmed that Light wasn't to be found, and so I started cleaning. My clothes could be cleaned later. I just needed something to get my mind off of what happened, and what it reminded me of what it reminded me is bound to happen. Oh yeah, it's bound to happen, alright. No foreshadowing at all. One large mess. Warning, this will contain mentions of blood, mentions of someone being crushed, someone falling out of the sky, because apparently this is common on Solace now, and quite a few swear words from one very stressed nurse. Please do not read if you're uncomfortable with any of this, you've been warned. Light adjusted her stance as she looked through the storage of healing potions. She was going to need to add to the stockpile from the looks of it. It wasn't a tall order. She was quite good at the alchemy needed for potion making. The sound of the front door opening pulled her from her thoughts. Her ears twitched as she listened to the shuffling of feet against the quartz floors. She hobbled to the front desk and smiled warmly when she saw that it was her co-worker, Truffle. Hey, Light, Truffle said. He sounded nervous. It's been a while since I've seen you, hasn't it? Oh, Truffle, Light replied, offering her co-worker a kind smile. Yes, it has been a while. I'm glad to see that you're well. I haven't been able to be at the hospital lately because I may have been taking care of a child. They're a little rascal I can't let out of my sight. Do you guys mind if I skip some of the dialogue here? Because we've read it so many times. So I've seen, they're kind of missing right now. What? I already informed the Keepers of Solace. Anyway, great catching up to you. Light hesitated. She wanted to keep Truffle there, to ask them more about Zenithra's disappearance. But she knew her condition. She knew that she'd only hold everything up. All right, Light said, hiding her worry under a kind smile. Please take care of your Truffle and be safe. Light watched as Truffle turned to leave when a loud bang rang out. Light shrieked and ducked. Glass fell upon her from the shattered window from above her, scratching her arms as she held them over her head. Wood dust dusted her hair. Once she heard no more crashing, she slowly stood. Light's eyes widened at the scene before her. The rubble of the room above the front entrance was now on the ground floor. Wires were everywhere, as was the blood. Truffle's body was slowly putting itself back together. She looked a bit further to the left and her eyes widened. There, in the middle of a good-sized crater, lay Belios. He was injured but alive. She jumped over the desk, the glass that had separated the waiting room from the other side of the desk having shattered in the crash, and rushed to Belios' side. She would have gone to Truffle first, but they were still piecing themselves back together. Light extended her magic into Belios. She sensed something different about him. He wasn't quite mortal, but not a god either. It felt like he was somewhere in between. She shook her head, refocusing on healing the worst of Belios' injuries. She smelled the scent of sickly sweet poison. She saw green markings on the side of his face. A snarl ripped out of her throat before she could stop it. I am going to rip that bitch apart, Light thought, anger making her form flicker for a brief second. She closed her eyes, calmed down, and opened them again, and focused on healing Belios. She barely noticed when Waters had arrived and when he started helping her with Belios. Her ears flicked up to the sound of movement. She whirled around, briefly seeing Freya doing nothing to help. I told people like Freya would go in and be like, oh my gosh, and like try to help. But I can see everyone was like, of course Freya's not doing shit. Of course she isn't helping, Light thought bitterly as she focused on Truffle. They were trying to come closer to help with Belios when they were just barely healed themselves. Fuck no, she snapped as she shot to her feet. She wobbled slightly, but held her hand to the wall to steady herself. Sit your ass down, Truffle. You will not be helping with this. Of course, Truffle wouldn't take no for an answer, and it ignited a mostly one-sided argument between them. Light was thankful that Waters was there to care for Belios while she was distracted. It took Dr. Magos to break them up. He escorted Truffle to a hospital room and dismissed Light to go relax and tend to her own minor injuries. Light grumbled but obeyed her orders. She tended to her injuries before helping Waters move Belios to the intensive care unit. Once Belios was settled, Light settled into a chair. She texted Frog through the communicator to alert her friend of what happened. Then Light started to mutter prayers. Please, she muttered under her breath, please do not let my brother die again. I think Freya is doing great. Skull emoji. Mira is Freya's #1 defender right now. I love what, like, the people who do support Freya despite her issues have such different ways of going about it. You got, like, you know, Mira, who's like, she's doing great, whatever. You got Marcelo, who is like, she just doesn't know anything. She's just kind of, she's not dumb, but like, it's a culture difference. That's what it is. I guess Waters could have directed Freya to move through the rubble and look to make sure nobody was buried. Locations of supplies underneath. Yeah, I mean, like, she can pick up anything. She can also, like, she's going to go and just rebuild the hospital. I'm Freya's #1 hater. We all know that already, Truffle. Freya has no haters. Eclipse finally got me. Mira does her best because she knows Freya is kind of not knowing what evil can be. That's true, but I think a lot of people, like... Okay, maybe it's not underestimating Freya. Maybe it is estimating Freya. Guys, it's Freya's first time existing. Be kind to her. She's existed for billions of years! It's Freya's naivety that makes me so mad. Just step down and let someone else lead, Solace. She never asked to lead. It just kind of happened. But it's true. She is naive. A third exit. Kron lay down on their hospital bed, staring up at the ceiling. Well, more so just the splotches of shadows that now recently began to burn their eyes, making their head pulse. They hadn't been able to sleep, not as if they did much anyway, but they at least respected themselves enough to take a nap every now and again. But now their stupid eyes wouldn't even give them that, along with the blind prophet, but she's old news at this point. They pushed themselves up with a grunt, a wave of heaviness pushing down on their shoulders, a yawn coming from them. Their clothes were ruffled from tossing and turning, the jumper sticking to their skin and their strangely much sorer chest, making spikes of shock perk up their torso occasionally. It was really stuffy in the building. Their hood fell off without them realizing, or they didn't care at the moment. Usually they would panic and immediately adjust themselves, but they just didn't have the energy. They wanted to go home. They wished Croy would take them home, and that Miss Guide would let them leave. That the hospital in general would, but to them the hospital was run by Miss Guide, so there was no way they'd get out. They forced their way up onto their feet, carefully navigating to their chest, which they were cautious with when opening, considering what Miss Guide had enchanted it with. Croy eventually managed to explain it, but Kron was still wary. Not that they didn't trust her, it's just they aren't too sure about magic. They reached into the chest, feeling around at all the things left inside, until their hand found the book Zin had left for them. They picked it up and turned, sitting on the floor with their back against the chest, opening the book. They remembered when they could actually read the words left for them, explaining that Zin had left and had given them a pie and a potion of healing as part of a goodbye. They couldn't remember what else it said, but they couldn't help but feel tense. A pressure pressing against the back of their eyes, their jaw clenching tight. The book felt heavier in their hands. They forced themselves up, stumbling a bit, falling against the wall, the corner of the table behind them scratching their back. They cursed quietly, their hooved feet scrambling until they managed to gain footing, to which immediately after, they threw the book into the chest, hearing the pages crumple up as it landed among the other things within. A loud crash comes from what felt like it was above Kron, a gush of wind sending Kron down onto the floor against the wall. They gasped, clutching the back of their head, feeling it pulse with more pain, ears ringing. Adrenaline racked their bones as they pulled themselves up to peek over the edge of their bed, just about seeing the destruction. The wall between their room and the other was completely destroyed, the other room practically gone. Faint light spilled in through the ceiling where a gaping hole now replaced the fluorescent humming lights. Kron's eyes widened, an idea striking their sore mind. Escape. Kron, with more energy than they had for the past week, hopped up onto their feet, gathering the items in their chest into a small satchel, all of them fitting apart from the skeletal arm, which the hand of it stuck out the top, along with the mushroom. But Kron didn't care. They finally secured Croy's shield to their belt with the satchel and carefully navigated their way to where a wall once was, turning their head down. They heard the panicked voice of Miss Guide and a few others, the grumbling of Dr. Beetle, and a few pieces of debris crumbling and shifting. But Kron turned their attention to the massive hole in the roof they could just about see, thanks to the sun shining through. They took a few steps back, giving a running start before jumping, their arms stretched as high as they could reach. They managed to catch a stray board sticking out, splinters digging into their hands, but they heaved forward, dragging their weight up until they caught the edge with their left hand just as the board broke. They cursed under their breath, their bodies swaying unstably. They couldn't fall. They wouldn't let themselves fall. Never mind the fact they'd be more injured. It'd mean they'd be caught and never get a chance to getting out again. So with a determined huff, they swung their body from left to right until the other hand caught the edge, giving some more stability. They kicked their legs aimlessly while pulling their weight up, their cheeks puffing out beneath their mask as they held their breath, until letting it out in a wheezy exhale as their chest flopped down on the roof. But they didn't let themselves rest, scrambling up to their feet and peeking around the edges of the hospital, searching for a safe way down until they decided to take their chances. They kneeled, grasping the edge and swung their body over their edge, only to lose their grip, falling sideways into a pile of autumn leaves, the side of their head whacking off the crispy grass hard, sending a shock through them. But they shook it off, digging themselves out of leaves, stumbling against the sign nearby with a heavy breath. No brakes. Keep moving. Kron gave himself a push into the direction they believed was home, trying to use their memory to guide them, which for obvious reasons wasn't the best method, but to them they had no time. They stumbled and fell and jumped and climbed. Home was further away than they thought. Did things change? Did Stardust Lady change the land? She could do that since she made the planet. She could switch it any way. Gods, they hoped she didn't. Oh, we have a link here. What is this? The ghost watched as chaos ensued. Mind a heavy mess, rebuilding he wished to assist with, but he worried of more distress. The screams of the dragon, handled like an animal, tore at the ghost's absent heart, but his gaze lingered to the soulless warden, who he felt mercy for from the start. An empty bed is what he stands before, one that nested a sick son, separated again from home longing or more. It made his stomach twist in its forgotten tomb. Is this Croy? Is Croy even Croy's kind of a ghost, yeah? First time existing socially? That's crazy. In a way, yeah. I mean, first time being around humans and being in charge of an entire planet of thousands of people. It is Croy, I see. Interesting. Kron's foot suddenly sank downwards, making them fall over forwards, something on their hoof cracking. They yelped, cold mud sinking through their clothes and obscuring their vision through their mask even more than it already was. They pulled their hoof free eventually, legs suddenly beginning to ache, their headache returning, just as a soft, smooth voice called out, "Kron? Oh, you poor dear." Kron flinched, immediately trying to get up, their voice sparking out of their dry throat in protest, even as they practically flailed on the ground trying to get up, trying to wipe away the mud. "No, I not go back. Leave. Away." The feminine voice tutted softly as Kron's protest grew weaker and less angry, the world around them that they couldn't see spinning. Their bodies shivered and complained, the weight of the things they took with them making the pain worse. "Come here, darling." Kron felt themselves be picked up from their waist and cradled against the rather tall figure, feeling one arm holding him there, while the other hand reached up to hold the back of their head against the woman's shoulder. There now. Marana has you. How could I leave you there alone and in pain? Come now, Milena and I will care for you and make you all better." And as Kron felt them both moving, they let the weight fall upon them, accepting the sleep that was doomed to consume them. Belios had caused so much trouble just by skydiving. Yeah, I forget. Marana and Milena... I forget, like, what their connection and all these are, but I know that there was a video of them, like, talking about Croy and Kron. I don't remember what they have to do or whose characters they are. Temper lost. Warnings, there will be blood, violence, and Okul because she is always a warning. Please don't read if you're not comfortable. I'm sorry for the 6 pages of story you're about to read. Okay. We're getting into it. Light adjusted her grip on her cane. She leaned against the desk of the emergency room nursing station. She watched Okul through the glass of her room. She had started yelling again. It grinded on what little patience she had left. She took a sharp breath and pushed off the desk. She leaned on her cane as she walked to the door and opened it. Okul fell silent, her antler-like sensors twitching to every sound Light made as she walked closer to the warden. "I'm guessing that it's Light who's in here," the warden said, a growl in her voice. "Not the same footsteps as before. Guessing you'd gotten hurt while you were missing?" Light didn't respond to the obvious jab. She adjusted the straitjacket to get a look at Okul's injury. She made a mental note to herself to write to Lux to inform them of Okul's recovery. It's about time to get her out of the hospital. Light yanked the straitjacket tight, making the warden growl at her. Light sighed as she sat into a chair. She watched Okul for a bit. "Why?" she asked, making the warden look in her direction. "What? Why did you do it?" she asked. "Why didn't you give Belios a fair trial?" The warden stared at Light for a long while. Light was just about sure Okul wouldn't answer her question. Then Okul started to laugh. Light's ears pinned back as a growl bubbled out of her throat. "Oh, give Belios a fair trial?" Okul said, a smug grin crossing her face. Light scowled as the warden went on. "That was a demonstration, a show of power. So what if it was unfair?" Light closed her eyes, trying to keep her anger in check. "And you want to know what is funnier? You had the shot!" Light's claws dug into the arm of the chair. For a brief second, she looked different in some way. It was as if her illusion slipped for a fraction of a second. It was back in place too quickly for Okul to see anything. "You were the first person to get up and draw your weapon. You could have shot me. You could have stormed the stage." Light growled, her ears lowering. "And yet, like the coward you are, you did nothing." Light's eyes snapped open as she snarled. She lunged out of her chair. She had Okul pinned under her in seconds. She started to punch the warden. A guttural scream ripped out of her throat. She slammed her fist into the warden's face over and over again. Okul bit into Light's arm, sinking her sharp teeth deep into the flesh of her arm. The dragon snarled and whacked Okul's throat, making the warden gasp for air, releasing her arm. Light used her other hand to continue punching the warden. She didn't know how long she punched Okul. She didn't know how long until her fist was stained in the warden's blood. When her fist grew bruised, she started to claw at Okul's face with her claws, leaving deep scratches in Okul's face. Oh my god. She didn't notice when Magos ran into the room. She screamed when he grabbed her and pulled her off the warden. She kicked and screamed, trying to get back to beating the shit out of Okul. "You're the coward!" Light screamed as tears fell down her face. "You hide behind the mask of justice. You're the one who is in the wrong. You killed Belios. Then you lied to him when he came back without a bunch of his memories. You were one of the reasons why Solace has problems. You are a tyrant bitch. You will never rule Solace. You deserve to die alone and unwanted." Light scratched at Magos' arm, claws scraping against the metal, leaving a couple of scratches in their wake. The robot man practically had to throw her into the small closet and lock the door. Light slammed her fists against the door, punching it, clawing at it. She shifted into her dragon form, shifting to the size to be just large enough to fit in the room, and thrashed the room, breaking items, scratching the walls. Eventually, her temper cooled. She calmed down. Light's entire body trembled with rage. She panted as her senses slowly returned to her. Her throat and lungs ached from all the screaming she did. The room was just about destroyed. Slowly, the chronic pain came back, then her hearing. Okul was screaming again from the pain and from rage. She was cursing Light. Light paid no mind to the warden. A fresh wave of tears fell down her face. She shrank in size and found a small, closed-off corner to curl up in. Exhaustion hit her like a truck. She passed out. Light didn't know how much time passed while she was asleep. But when she awoke, there was Waters. She knew that he had been at the hospital since Belios had fallen through the roof of the hospital and crash-landed on Truffle. But she would have figured he'd leave by now. She could see how tense he was just by being in the hospital. But here he was, sitting with her, but giving her enough space to not bother her. She crawled out of her hiding place and shifted back into her human form. Light. Waters started, but Light shook her head. She stood up and nearly fell over when her legs gave out from under her. Waters was quick to catch her before she whacked her head against the edge of a desk she had overturned. Slowly, together, they rose to their feet. Light clung to Waters as he slowly helped her walk out of the room. Magus was there with her cane. She barely remembered when she had dropped it. It must have been right before Light had started attacking Okul. Light took her cane back from the doctor, leaning more of her weight onto it and letting go of Waters in the process. She risked a glance toward Okul's room. She saw Mars already tending to Okul's fresh injuries. The warden wasn't moving besides breathing. Ugh. Light might have knocked her out. She felt a gentle tug on her sleeve. She looked up at Waters, who gestured for her to walk with him. The dragon nodded and started to walk with Waters. They left the hospital and just walked. There wasn't a particular destination in mind. A direction was chosen and they walked. The walk was quiet. Neither wanted to speak at that moment. Light couldn't look at her hands, not without feeling Okul's blood that still coated them. She didn't regret punching the shit out of that cursed warden, not one bit. But she regretted making Waters have to come to the hospital. She had seen how tense he was while in there, even if he tried to play it off. She saw how he relaxed the further they walked away from the hospital. "I'm sorry," Light rasped, wincing when she heard her voice. She'd pretty much destroyed it with her screaming and yelling. Waters looked at her, seemingly surprised. "For what?" he questioned. "For making you come to the hospital. I saw how tense you were just being there." She could feel Waters' gaze burned into her. Light would have thought Waters was angry at her if it wasn't for the mumbled, "I forgot how observant you are," under his breath. She couldn't help but to smile. Waters sighed and looked at Light. "You'd lost your temper, something I'd never seen you do," he said. Light's ears lowered, her wings closed in around her face, hiding her shame behind them. The older man reached over and gently pulled away one of her wings. She looked over at Waters. "I won't lie. Okul had it coming," he said. There was a hint of amused pride in his voice. "And given all that has happened in the last 24 hours, I cannot blame you for losing your temper with her. Although, next time, do it somewhere no one will catch you in the act." Light looked at Waters fully, her wings moving away from her face. She nodded, unsure what to say. Really, there wasn't much to say after that. Waters left her to sit and rest for a bit while he went back to the facility for training dummies. After he had set them up, he allowed her to let out some steam. He even showed her a few tricks of his. It was nice, simple, and calming for both of them. Waters walked Light back to the hospital once she was calmer than she was before. After Light saw Waters off, she walked back inside of the hospital. She walked around the rubble left behind from Belios's falling through the ceiling. She walked upstairs to check on Kron and Belios. Kron was her first check. She walked into the room and froze. The room was empty. Kron was nowhere to be seen within the room. Frustration bubbled up and she couldn't contain it. She screamed. She screamed her frustration out. She screamed until her voice gave out, until red and gold blood soaked through the bandages wrapped around her neck. Then she sank to her knees, pressed her head into her hands, and started to cry. Poor Light. So overwhelmed. SMP needs a beach day? No! No beach day allowed.
Driving in my car right after a beat.
Blind woman getting beat up while strapped to a bed. Yeah. In a way, poor Okul. Freya is on Okul's side here, by the way. I mean, this was just on the OC network thing, but I'm thinking of having her go and like apologize to this for this to Okul, because in a way, like, Freya doesn't hate Okul. She's terrified of her, but you know, she has this belief that there's good in everyone, somewhere. So, some little tiny piece of good is in Okul. I mean, Okul just wants the best for whoever. But she's just very misguided. So, and Freya definitely does not want people being beat up in her hospital. More Magos lore. Entries booting up, entry 25, projects. It seems with every second my theories are being proven correct. People have been letting emotion get the better of themselves. Have I let emotion get the better of me? No, simple as that. Though the shapeshifter incident did open my eyes to new possibilities. Light has also decided it was a good time to use Okul as a punching bag. Foolish. How will I explain that to the law enforcement if they ever come by? I've been gathering relics to improve the Primar project. However, something is missing. I believe I can make a way to predict the inhabitants' actions of this planet. In theory, if I were to replicate an individual's brain and fill it with data that belonged to the original, I should be able to create a program that will predict their very next move. I have also been working on a suppressant that will force any shapeshifter through their original form for a period of time. Tests have shown that this chemical just simply causes fibrodysplasia of Sificans progressiva. I know what this one is! That's where your muscles turn into bone, right? FOP. I used to be really obsessed with FOP when I was younger. I watched like every documentary there was about it. I've only tested this with Sunny's sample so far. I'll be working on a non-lethal chemical for now. Mira is giving Light money for this. Baelius is high-fiving Light. I really think it's so funny how Waters is all about laws and regulation, but if someone comes to him having committed a crime, he will advise them how to conceal it without direct involvement. I love that too. It's so funny. It's like, well, if you're gonna do it well. I just realized I had Lux give Okul a bunch of forms she couldn't actually read. Ooh. Accommodations needed. Ooh, what is this? From Feather.
Hey. I'm gonna go to the library. Do you wanna come along? No thanks. I'm gonna stay home. Okay. I'll see you.
Behind curtain number 1 is correct.
Wait. You don't remember what she looks like? Hey, just make something up.
Oh, what you make is gonna get.
Oh man. 2.5, 3.5. Oh my gosh, she's like 7 hours on this almost. Amazing. It is Gatsby. The crowd cheers. The crowd is traumatized. Urilla made this but not canonically posted by him. Okay. What does that mean then? From Lux Solaris? Better bring this to crew. Whatever that was. Crew, there was a letter for you in the box of mail. What now? Fuck. Where's Urillo? I need to talk to him. I believe your father is outside. In the fields again. Urillo, can you help with something? What did I say? Or what did I say? Maybe. Papa, I require your assistance. Much better. Could use less sass, but I'll allow it. teenagers be? The purple text is Visnaya. Oh. Google Drive page? Meetings are so boring. What is wrong with me? Do I have to... Can I use my phone for this? So Google that. I can't read this on my phone. Oh my god. I can read it on my phone, but I have to share it. And okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, we have that up. And then there's this. And missing person. Kasim. I gave you that title. Interesting. Eyes purple. The loser of Frostfire. Boo. Someone does not like Kasim. Alright, let's read this thing. I got it. Krufix sighs. Can you just help me writing this thing, Lux, please? Or rather, write it for me? Write this thing to Lux, please. Or rather, write it for me, she asks, holding a book and quill, as well as the book Lux wrote to her, out towards him. Eurylo stays silent for a moment, pulling some wheat from the ground. Sure, I'll write it, he agrees, taking the books from her. I'll just put your name at the end. Thank you, Papa, Krufix says, then turns around to walk out the fields. After a few seconds, Eurylo follows after Krufix, walking along beside her. Actually, I've been meaning to ask you something, but I haven't found the time to do so. Yeah, what is it? Why don't you use your real name here? Eurylo asks harmlessly, but it stops Krufix in her tracks, which causes Eurylo to stop in front of her. I'm not saying you should tell the planet your name, but I'm just curious why you use Krufix, not the name I gave you. Krufix stares at Eurylo for a while, her mouth feeling suddenly dry. I don't know, she mutters out. I couldn't remember anything when I first got here, so I just came up with a random name. Yes, well, we didn't want you or Fivehead to remember the war back home, so when we teleported you to this planet, we wiped your memories, Eurylo explains. I'm surprised it worked. I know, Krufix comments. You told me all of this, and I got those memories back. Eurylo shifts his stance, his hands loosely holding each other behind its back. Yes, so then why do you still use Krufix? Do you not like your name? Krufix sighs as her gaze shifts around Frostfire. I do, but Solace is a new planet. It's a fresh start. Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start. Or supposed to be. I like my name, but I don't want to tell anyone my real name. It gives them power over me. She pauses. Maybe I'll tell Mars and Kasim when we find him. Only people I trust. Eurylo smiles in his usual soft way, his hands finding Krufix's cheeks. You're too much like me, daughter, but I can't decide if that is a terrible thing or not. When Eurylo's hands land on her cheeks, she smiles back, but it's tight, and her shoulders stiffen ever so slightly. It's probably a bad thing, Krufix says, taking his hands in hers and pulling them off of her face. She holds them for a moment, then lets go to fix the scarf hiding her neck. One of Eurylo's eyebrows twitch before burrowing towards his nose. Are you feeling all right, Kru? He asks. You're wearing a turtleneck and a scarf. Yeah, she dismisses with a wave of her hand. I'm fine, just trying out a new style. There's silence between the two of them, before Eurylo could reply. But before Eurylo could reply, Krufix speaks. Also about my abilities, she begins. Oh yes, your ice magic, Eurylo guesses. I can teach you a few tricks Marina uses while she writes your note to Lux Solaris. Meet me at the training area. With a confirmation, Krufix walks towards the forest and into it, heading to their spot where they spar. She sits on a fallen log, staring at her hands like they will grow legs and walk away if she averted her gaze. Her mind goes to the anvil in Kasim's lab, how the ice formed from her hands and got them stuck to the block of iron. Then, suddenly, a twig snaps at the entrance, signaling Eurylo's arrival. All right, stand up, Eurylo orders just as Krufix does just that. Find a tree to aim at, then close your eyes, he says. Krufix looks around, then finds a wider tree across the way. She holds up one hand, facing her palm towards the tree, and closes her eyes. Think of all the pain you have been through, Eurylo says, putting his hands on her shoulders. Think about the good and the bad that has come from that pain, about the bonds you have made, and the bonds you have broken. Now channel all of that emotion throughout your body. Do not keep it in your heart or your mind. Open your eyes and shoot. Krufik's eyes open with a different kind of determination. She hesitates for a second, then does as Eurylo instructed. Frost smoke begins to gas out from her hand. Then, as she fully extends her arm, an ice and snowball flows out in one motion, striking the tree. When it hits the tree's surface, it wraps around the side of the tree, which causes icicles to form horizontally at the back of the tree. Good job, Eurylo exclaims, shaking Krufik's shoulders. You're like Elsa from that movie Fivehead made me watch. Krufik chuckles, looking towards Eurylo, but as she does, Eurylo notices her eyes are purple. Ooh, ooh. Purple. And then we have some lore sheets from, we already looked at this one, but OC ID card, Zilangsu, Vathros, age 1439, birthday December 29th. We don't have any backstory, but we have a fun fact. He has 3 pairs of arms. Whose drawing is this, though? That's my question. Credit the artist. 68 old. Oh, 6'8 old. Interesting, interesting. Well, again, if you want to be a part of the like OC social network thing, it's really fun. I recommend it. And yeah, unfortunately, streams for now are going to be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern and ending at probably around now. So a little bit later than usual. I apologize. It's late for me too. Of course, you can contact me about some lore. Always. DM me. The whole thing with frog eggs was that Frog found more Frogger babies. I see, I see. It's like, why are we, like, rubbing frog eggs on Frog? You got made fun of? Oh, that's so sad. And yeah, I will see you all on, I guess on Friday. I don't think there's anything between now and Friday. You were bullied for an hour. Oh. New character comes in after banishment of old lady. Let's go. Yeah, just Friday coming up. I do have the Tuesday off for the ball, but I don't know if there will be a stream that day. I think it'll just be the ball. We'll see. I might have the stream right after the ball. The ball! It's gonna be really fun. December 9, everyone. Mark your calendars. Alright. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. I'll see you all on Friday then. Mika! I hope we don't get traumatized this time. Me too! You're getting bored again? You wanna hang out? Let's cook up some devious lore. Is Cam awake? I actually have something to talk to him about. Or something to mention him. Expect another build. Ooh. Oh yeah, we need to build the ball. If anyone wants to help out with that. I mean, it's built, but we need to like finish building it, you know? Wholesome lore, no more traumatic lore. Don't worry. If you guys like Marcelo and Freya, just wait until the ball because you get the cutest scene ever. I think Cece's already read it. But that's gonna be the cutest. I love them both. No, it's something will happen at the ball. I think everyone kind of knows. But before that, cutest scene ever. Lore without trauma is simply not lore. They will prevail. Yes. I love those so much. I can't wait to make them kith. Okay. See you all on Friday.